Hello, everybody. How we doing today? How are we? Before we go jumping into this, because we're gonna do a session without Tessel, I actually got Tessel art put together. Like it's been put together for forever, but I actually have it showcased. So just to make sure you can properly see what the art looks like, because he keeps whining. I mean, he's an incessant whiner that the art has never been properly showcased. I wanted to jump to this overlay real quick so you can see it. I'm 99.89% sure I have showed this before, but he's been, oh, where's Tessel art? So here it is. This is Tessel and all of his orange glory. I kind of feel like calling him the Pumpkin King. You know, like, are you guys watching the stream at all or no? Jake and Nick?
Yeah, I'm saving my joke because I don't want to hurt Sal's feelings. All I'm saying is I can, that dagger sword thing? Yeah, that's clearly photoshopped in. We know it's really there.
Oh my god, that's funny. Moving past that. So I actually, this is a YouTube channel I watch. They're pretty funny. I always forget their name. There's this one dude is like the main personality there, but it's a bunch of people that are a part of it. Hold on, let me get the name. It's called Sellsword Arts. And one of the big things that they're doing right now is they're doing a 1 year personal study on a more or less is reverse grip. Does reverse grip have any viability in any fighting style at all whatsoever in offensive or defensive measures? And these are people that are like gymnasts, martial artists that do lots of like mock combats and put on like stage performances and so on and so forth. These are stunt people, whatever. So it's just really funny. And they're doing this like 1 year journey where they're breaking it down into like 3-month chunks of like the research to see if there's and he literally just put a video out not too long ago just talking about like the problem is reverse grip is just so bad. It's just so horrible in everything that he's running out of ideas and suggestions. And he recently just had somebody on TikTok more or less just like shitting all over him, being like, you suck, da 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 da. Like, we should fight. I'll reverse grip, but we'll actually duel. And he like actually accepted the duel challenge. And then the person was like, yeah, but I'm not going to reverse grip though. It was like, seriously? So he agreed to the duel to reverse grip. Then the person reneged on it. He's like, fuck it, let's duel anyways. It's happening in October. And I can't wait to actually see the video afterwards. But like, even the person that was like shitting all over it for, yeah. You get that point.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's just reverse grip is so dumb. It's just good in anime. Like, it's a lot of fun in the anime. You see it all the time, but it has no viability in any actual combat style at all. So
listen, anime never lies. Okay.
You so sure about that?
Well, it's on the internet, so.
Okay. Well, if it's on the internet, then it must be a real thing. Yeah. Well, I think first of all, hi Tyler. Long time no chat. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Second of all, I think that was what Nick was touching on not too long ago. So
unintended.
Well, yeah, indeed. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But cool. I just wanted to show his little image there on the overlay before I bounced out. I can now delete that picture so we have it where it needs to be. Remove. And then we can go to the correct overlay. All right, cool. All right, gentlemen, where did we leave off? Jake kind of got a turn skipped because he was off enjoying vacation, and I'm very happy you got to enjoy that vacation. Was it every bit as restful as you hoped it would be?
Oh, 100%. I got extremely sick, though, and was like bedbound for like 3 days. But it was right at the end.
Alcohol or food?
I thought it was COVID. So.
Oh, no. But it wasn't?
Yeah.
It wasn't COVID?
Didn't test COVID.
Oh, really? Okay.
Cool. If I had to put my money on it, but I mean,
those tests are only as good as those tests are, you know? So,
yeah.
And every country uses slightly different versions of it and blah, blah, blah. Even here, we have tons of different versions. But, well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah.
How many days into it did you miss your kids?
Oof. Pretty quickly. I talk to him every day.
What's socially acceptable to say on the
internet? Yeah. He's like, truth?
I'm not.
Or what I say online? Truth or what I say online? Truthfully, 5 days, 6 days? But online, I'll say probably the first day. You know, it was a long
course,
flight. I missed them on the plane. You know, like aches to walk out the door. Right? But I'm glad you got a proper vacation. It's your first one in a long time, right? Since pre-COVID.
Yeah. It was duly and needed. So
Yeah. Well, I'm sure, especially since, you know, raising 2 kids, you know, is not easy to do. I raised one with a partner in crime, and, you know, Nick raises one with a partner in crime. You got 2, and you're Big Daddy. So, uh-oh, burn it all. Okay, well, what the fuck? Okay. Jake, you got a Winifred's Wisdom. Both of you gentlemen, if you can go into your kingdom sheets, which I'm sure you have open. If you can go into your kingdom sheets and actually, geez, guys, you're ready to get another hype train going already? If you want to go into your kingdom sheets and add on there, under where BP is and the gain area is a spot that says viewers. You probably already have some numbers inside that spot. Can you each add 2 more under the viewers area? So when you do your next like monies roll, that'll get added on because you just got BP. I have to add it to. I'm trying to open it right now. Here's Shado. I'll have to add it to Shado now.
Once more with feeling.
And Jake, you just got a Winnie's. Did I tell you that? Did I just say that 2 seconds ago?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just run there for viewers. Cool. I just added that for him.
Once more with feeling.
Awesome. All right. And what did we have left to do on Nick's kingdom rolls before we double dip Jake?
I think we finished up.
No, you had to be here for something, didn't you? Or were we doing a Jake then a you then a Jake? Because we didn't double dip you, did we?
Yeah, you wanted
So-
to. You wanted to.
That's
break
right. We wanted
it
to
up.
break it up a little. Okay, cool.
Okay. I mean, you totally don't have to. I can go to bed, and you can just enjoy this full stream.
Yeah. It's because we guys we actually have to have like, if we can actually force through this. Let's pretend for a second here that we can be productive. Cell's not here, so there's really no excuse. If we can be productive and we can get through a whole Jake and Nick turn, or at least all of Jake and most of Nick, that'd be a good thing because Nick had some stuff he wanted to do on his kingdom turn that kind of required a bit of conversation between the 3 warlords. And oh my god, so that's definitely like I know the hype train isn't up there. But let's be 100% clear. That's a level 5 hype train.
It's raining bits, man.
Yeah, like that's definitely a level 5 hype train. So we're going to have a level 4 and a level 5 hype train. Like hands down, no question. I know it's not on the screen because it can't be on the screen because it's been less than 2 hours. But like considering it was almost a level 5 with half of that, that's, I mean, should we just round it off for 2 level 5 hype trains and call it a day? Sure, fuck it. Let's call it 2 level 5. Let's go for 3. So anyways, let's just call it 2 level 5 hype trains. I'll put a poll up in a minute. Calm down, Cecil.
Reverse script.
So, if Nick gets both, he gets a level 5 druid. What? No. Sir Keegan is like, I'll get in on that. Yep. Let's okay. I concur. All right. So, where were we? I'm sorry. So that way Nick can finish out his turn kind of like after having a conversation with the 3 of you guys together because he had like an important thing. I don't honestly remember what the big decision was, but I do know that was something that needed to happen, right? So unfortunately, right now, Jake, right now we have an issue with you're supposed to have Snaga and Viking duel each other, and that's kind of not able to be in the works. So I'm going to try to work with you guys to come up with a time frame where the 3 of us, do you have a chat with all 3 of you together? Probably Warmonger spoilers, or if you guys even want to just come up with a DM with the 4 of us in a DM to come up with like all we need realistically is an hour. An hour is a setup, a do the combat, and end. That's all we need. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. So even if we blocked out an hour and a half just in case, so we can get that little thing out of the way, so we can kind of like move forward with your kingdom shit, right? So that's something we got to do. I don't want that to happen like the other situation with Grishka before, right? Cool.
Yeah.
And we'll never speak of that again. All right. So getting into this, let's just kind of jump into Jake's kingdom rules. Jake, do you have all the stuff up that you need? I'm betting right now Pathfinder Kingdom building. I forgot to get. I do have the books open for like your RE building and shit like that. Do you have all that stuff open, sir?
I don't have the book open, but I will open it now. It's been a hot minute.
It has. I gotta remember to buy Pathfinder bundle pack. I don't think it expired yet, so I gotta make sure I buy that. I'll read that in 2 seconds. Let's close Shado unless more BP comes in, then I can open him later on. Let's open up Densho. I have the books open. I have Kingdom Building open. I think I'm good to go. Yeah, I think I'm good to go, Jake, for your like mundane stuff.
Yeah.
Are you going to be claiming any hexes this turn? Do you know?
Probably.
Okay, so I'll get the map pulled up in 2 seconds for everybody as well. All right, cool.
Yep.
Nick, any last words you got to say or anything before we just try to like get through his nice and quickly?
Nope, I'm good.
Cool. We're gonna shift focus to him. Oh, Nick, you're a mod here, aren't you? I'm 99.9% sure you're a mod in Twitch. Can you just like type anything in Twitch?
Yeah, I think I am, but I have no idea how to do anything in there.
That's okay. If you're a mod, I can explain how. I think you're still pulling up Twitch.
Oh, my Switch is being done. Oh no, my back button died. That's horrible.
Backspace.
Yeah. Shitty keyboard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a believer in cheap keyboards. Expensive keyboards have never done anything for me. That's like I've fiddled on other people's like $100 keyboards, you know, $150 keyboards, and I'm like, it's the same thing as a $30 keyboard. So.
Yeah, the only problem is I am like the worst typer in the world. So
You're good. So you're gonna want to do / poll POLL, enter, and then it's gonna like pull up the options. It's just gonna be Hype Train level 5. Put the options in there. Make sure all 3 of you are options. You can name them whatever you want, so long as it doesn't go against Twitch TOS. It'll warn you, and so it's identifiable who you're referring to. But otherwise, I don't care what you say. And then after that poll is completed, we'll have to wait like a couple minutes and do another one. Okay? I'll let you do that while I jump on Jake. Hey, yo, baby, how you doing? How's Grimesy?
Yeah, you doing?
Doing good?
He's all right.
All
His
right.
daughter broke her arm yesterday, so yeah.
Oh, poor
No,
guy.
those monkey bars.
Oh, the poor thing. Is she okay?
Mm. Yeah, he said she was doing all right.
Aurorum knows a couple of like basic healing spells. Do you want me to send? Sorry.
Yeah, I think you might need it.
Yeah. The inside joke here is that Aurorum is the Patreon sponsor of Ramsey's Patreon sponsor of Aurorum. All right. So to you, sir. Let's get this shit started. First thing you're going to be rolling for is your stability check. It is literally you're up by almost 30. It is unfailable for you. And that should earn you a free BP.
All right, so there's no point in rolling it, right?
Yeah, you have to roll because we want to keep the random of the dice going.
What is it again? It's upkeep phase, right?
Si, senor.
All right. 7.
I understand what that is. Okay. 7. Cool. So you absolutely crush it because you have a plus 86 against a DC of 59. So yeah, you crush it. All right. After that is going to be add 1 BP to your treasury if you didn't already.
Yep.
After that, it's going to be paying your consumption. Your consumption right now is that's rough. It's a 2. Pay that heavy consumption, sir.
That's right.
Yeah, that's because of the proxy war. How many months did you have left of the proxy war?
3, so it'll be 2 after this.
Okay. So just make sure you have that written down somewhere. How many months you have left? After that is going to be filling your vacant magic item slots. I'm sure you have vacant slots somewhere.
I do.
Do you know what slots you have?
It's in Carbe. 2 wondrous items or a minor or medium armor, shield, or weapon, I assume.
Okay. So, Kabe, why don't we go ahead and ask somebody to roll a D100 for you real quick?
Steve.
What's your base value? 3,000. You're gonna up that, baby.
It's
You
about
actually
to
will be literally this month, I think.
Yeah.
Because Luxury Store and I think Noble Villa increase it for you. Luxury Store definitely does.
I don't think Noble
Theater
Villa
might as
does,
well.
actually. Theater doesn't.
It doesn't. Who's rolling for you, sorry?
Steve? If he's around?
Yeah, Steve. So to answer your question, what's her name? Has an expensive keyboard. Tyler. I don't know how much she spent on it, but I know Maggie has an expensive keyboard. She has one of the it's one of the high-end mechanical keyboards that have loud clicky clacky and can change colors and stuff like that. So but I don't know how much she spent on it though. She could have got a really good deal. What's up, Green? How you doing? We actually just kind of getting into it as opposed to being deep. We chatted a little bit. We haven't seen Jake's beautiful face in a while. So Steve looks like he's occupied. Green, you want to go ahead and roll us a D100 real quick? I do not like how loud mechanical keyboards are. Actually, I remember when we were in a campaign at one point in time, I was like, Maggie, all I can hear is the clacking of your keyboard. I think she since changed it, or maybe she changed her settings on her computer because we were able to hear it better. All right, that's a 64, so it's definitely going to happen. Steve, go ahead and roll me another D100, please. This is going to be to determine what kind of item it is. Actually, no, don't worry about that one. We already know it's a wondrous item. Steve, roll it through for me. So his second roll here was a 37. Oop, shit. Spot. This is to determine what body part it's on. So with a 37, he's able to roll for a headpiece. Steve, you want to go ahead and roll for me again? When you choose in what part of the body, I always want low numbers.
Open it.
86 or higher is too expensive. Oh, cool. It's literally right underneath that. So it's called a Miser's Mask is what you have. Miser spelled M-I-S-E-R. So Miser's, so apostrophe S, mask. This wooden mask depicts the sunken face of a miser with an upturned nose. So more or less Scrooge. The mask grants the wearer the scent ability, but she can use it only to sense coins and gems. Each type and quality of gem has its own unique aura to the wearer, granting a +5 competence bonus to appraise checks made to ascertain value of the gems. Wow. That's interesting, right?
I'll let Tesla know there might be an item for him to purchase.
Well, I mean, he kind of needs it, right? That's like, that would help with searching through the mines and knowing if there's value to it, right? Like, that's like, jokes aside, that is legitimately a useful item for the miner to search for gems. So that's really cool. I won't lie. That's a nifty one. And that's also, it hit the ceiling of what you can have for items too. The item after that, which is the Stalker's Mask, was 500 too expensive as of this moment. That's a sexy item. Ooh, we won't even talk about it. It's really cool. All right. Anyways, so back to you, sir. Now it's going to be a matter of modifying on rest, but you have none, so you don't have to worry about anything there, and you don't have any ongoing effects that require you to roll for that anyways, like Cell does.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Let's move on. After that is going to be a matter of going into the edict phase. In the edict phase, did you have anything specifically you needed to go over for your for your advisors, anybody you wanted to switch out, anybody you were changing in some sort of way, any modifications whatsoever, any recent upgrades that we should take note of that
No.
happens. Okay. Which those videos for last month and this month will be coming out soon for advisor upgrades. Cool. So nothing changing there. After that is going to be claiming and abandoning hexes. Do you know? Oh, you're actually on the right spot. So you're gonna go right here. Hexes don't ping for me yet. Just kind of plot it out, and I'm making my way there right now, sir.
Yep.
Cool. Oh, and specifically to green, if you care to, if you haven't seen proper art before, if you go back to the beginning of the stream, one of the first things I did when we went live, we're talking like within 30 seconds, is I showcased Tesla's art, the full body art, in a large format rather than the tiny one that you see on the screen right now. So if that's something that you care to go back and check after the stream's over, or whatever is convenient for you, again, like 30 seconds into when you see it transition away from the away screen, which I don't know how many minutes that was. All right, sir. So the next question was and is claiming and abandoning hexes. As a reminder for you, you may claim up to 3 hexes.
All right, I'm just gonna take these 2 here.
The 2 that are adjacent to each other, just above that hill.
Yep.
Okay, I can definitely do that for you. Pay the 2 BP to do so. This whole place has been explored, so you don't have to worry about any aspect of that. It's been fully explored, so you're welcome to do that. By the way, Tesla can totally start claiming hexes underground, because like there's a whole area underground. He can literally start expanding his kingdom downwards if he wanted to. You know, that's something that he's actually capable of doing. It's just people don't fill those spots, right? But he can actually build his kingdom out that way. It's just funny because like his control DC goes up for like tunnels that have otherwise existed for hundreds, if not thousands of years, undisturbed and uncorroded. But like, he has to maintain them. So his control DC would go up. All right. Boom. And boom. Cool. Make sure you increase the number of desert hexes. I think we put them in for you. By 2 on your kingdom building sheet. Cool. That'll increase your control DC. In doing so, also increases your overall population. And you do know that this puts you immediately adjacent to an enemy here. Now, you recently had a run-in with them. Do you remember how that ended out?
Yeah, we exterminated them.
Yeah. You, I don't think they were 100% murdered, but they were handedly defeated, correct?
I can't remember. I know that we diverted some wildlife there, let's say. And then I'm pretty sure we came in afterwards and cleaned up.
Okay. And I know that was also at the same point in time when Tesla was dealing with the Paradal armies being nearby, and then he inevitably had the choice. He had his own inclame, if you will, to deal with. Some people think he chose very poorly. You know, some people think he chose wisely. You know, well, I guess only time will tell. But so this area, that spot that's on top there, that does still technically have the remnants, if you will, of who survived. Because it's not like you guys murder literally everybody, but you do decimate the area. So because they are up there, the reason why I'm bringing this up is the cost for preparation. If we were to take that hill and wanted to build on it, because you have to like clear it out, you have to make either a check to kind of like clear the people out, or just pay slightly more on the preparation cost as part of the difficulty of clearing it out. It's nothing crazy, but just because there are remnants there. Nothing very noteworthy. We're talking a 1 BP difference or making a check before you can do it. All right, let's move on. So you're only claiming those 2?
Yep.
Any new towns you're starting? I don't think so, because you literally have an unnamed new town so far that everybody's disappointed in you for. We should just name it Thailand. So,
be careful. Be careful with that first one.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I get kicked out of China, right?
Yep.
You meant
Next
mainland
week,
China,
there's going to be
right?
a new YouTube video, and it's going to be Scott's apology video.
I would like to apologize to the people of the People's Republic of China for my misspeaking and saying that Taiwan was its own state that has and deserves its own rights for its citizens. And the only reason why you want them is because they control what the #1 source of fresh water on the planet. I think it is, right? It's #1, #2. I forget. But all right. So any terrain improvements, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to put a farm here.
Where?
Roll 20 is not working for me. Can you see that?
I do now. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't forget to tick the farm thing on your little box there, so that you're good to go.
Yeah.
So you added 1 farm for yourself, which is good. It's a regular farm, not a built-up one. And how about the
Yeah.
canals? Oh,
yeah, we'll
actually,
start
and
those
Snaga's now
ones,
mentioned
so-
the canal himself too.
Yeah.
Do you want me
let
to
me
do
put
that?
That one. Yeah, please. Remind me how much it cost.
Double the cost of a road.
It's-
I want to say a road is 2, so maybe it's 4.
Is it road
Does
2?
that sound right? I believe a road is
don't
2. Am I mistaken?
I don't. Unaware.
Let's look at
Let me
terrain
put this
improvements.
farm in quickly.
So that first place is in plains. Cost of oh, so it's 1, so it's only 2. So you spent 2 on hexes. I think 2 to build a farm, right? So that's 4.
Yep.
And 2 for the first canal. So you spent 6 so far.
I've been minusing it from the treasury.
Yep. Not to mention the 2 you originally did for consumption. So now that
Yep.
you have that down, what are you going to do for how many canals are you building? Just the 1? Are you flowing it to your actual towns themselves? Like, help me out here.
Yeah, I am. Let's go. Here, and then. So that's going to cost me 8 if I do 4 things.
So what did I just say to you? I said that 1 was 2, so 4 would cost you 8. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go down to here, to Cabo.
Oh, so you're gonna do 1, 2, 3 all the way to Kabe. Gotcha. Did you also intend
Yep.
for this to flow down into the Barren Lands as well, like to flow this way into the Barren Lands as well?
Yeah.
Okay, it's through Kabe or through whatever this other side is
Through
called?
Cabo, because I needed to go there, so it's going to more or less wind around like that.
Okay, gotcha. The only reason I'm asking is because I literally have a Y-shaped river, which would make it so I can go like potentially straight and double this way. Or if you're like, no, I like the idea of literally just kind of like coming boom, boom, and then kind of going down like this from here. It's
I
a matter of what you
mean,
like.
it's going to go both ways anyway. So for now, we'll just have it go down towards Garbo, but then
Okay,
it might
cool.
go the other way.
That's perfectly fine. Just making sure we're on the same page. And give me a moment to like make this look halfway decent. Aesthetics. Oh, you'll hate me. Can I do this in a smarter way? If I like flip this around, will you be kinder to me? Like if I do one of these and then do like a horizontal flip. Trying to make it so it's aesthetically pleasing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just give me a moment. So it's kind of like a start there. Okay, and then we'll try to get it like a straight one from there. Oh, jeepers. That's a thick river. Okay. Want it to come, you said additional 3 into your actual capital. So a canal that like literally runs alongside your road. Is that the idea?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. Now it almost feels. Oh, you do have a farm there. I was gonna say now it almost feels like a shame you don't have a farm in that hex, but you do. Okay. Cool. So that should be fine. I try to have it so it kind of ran alongside the road rather than on the actual road. You know what I mean? So that kind of worked out, and I think we're good there. So add 4 canals to your thing. So you spent the APP. Add 4 canals to your kingdom sheet. I'm not sure what that offers for you. What does that give you now?
Let me have a look. 4 canals.
Should say it
Canals.
Oh, you didn't add it. Under terrain improvement. You know what I'm talking about? Right here?
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, I just added it right there. So it just adds to your population. It looks like it doesn't add anything else. So what do canals realistically offer for you then? Let's go back in terrain improvements. Canals. Canal settlement in a hex of the canal is treated as a settlement that has a river. It's twice the cost of a road. So more or less, because it's treated as though it has a river, the settlement does. That helps you for a couple of.
I can build a waterfront.
You can build a waterfront, and if you wanted to, help me out here. This town right here, the silver one, that's right here. What's the name of that town?
Isn't that Nochi? I think.
Is that what it's called? Okay, give me half a tick here. It has a nameplate that says NOCHI. Okay, I think there's supposed to be an accent on the I, isn't there? No, there's an accent on the O. Papa. Over here. Pasta. So we do this the right way. And then, oop. Yeah, now it shows nameplate. And I gotta make sure it's. Sorry. Moves very slowly. Roll20 hates me. Oh, does everybody know that Roll20 actually updated its dynamic lighting and now has something called transparent walls? Were you aware of that or no?
No.
It's really cool. So let's say I wanted to have a map that has something like, let's say, a portcullis or like a prison cell, like bars. And I didn't want you to be able to walk through it, but I wanted you to be able to see through it.
That is cool, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Or windows, that also applies. It's pretty nifty. I literally just realized it today. It was pretty exciting. Apparently Keegan thought it was exciting as well. So the name of the new town, he hasn't named yet, Joey. Jake is only one man. All right, cool.
Well said, Scott. Well
Yeah.
said.
I got him for you, sir. So anyways, you so that was, you could do 5 kingdom improvements. You literally did 4 canals and 1 whatchamacallit. So that's it, you're done. No mas. What else are you doing at this phase here? There is buildings, right? So buildings is what you're working on. So kind of flipping back over to here. I don't know how much these cost right off the bat, but I believe Throne was finishing the Noble Villa, right? Because this actually belongs to them.
Yep. That is correct.
So that's going to be completed. But that belongs to them, which is why it's that different weird gray color. But at the same time, didn't you have a mansion finishing in Throne at the same time? Or my apologies, a Noble Villa?
Yeah, it's a Noble Villa. I paid for the cost of a mansion and they upgraded it.
Correct. So are you done paying for it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I need you to do, because this counts as being here, because it's from this town or whatever, your capital, you know what I mean? Down on your sheet, make sure you add a Noble Villa 1. It says you already have one.
I do already have a Noble Villa.
So just change that to 2.
Yep.
But it's a little bit more complicated than that, ain't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Edicts, holiday, diplomacy, treaty, embassy. So when you your embassy grants your kingdom normal bonuses of a building of its type, and increases your consumption by 1, economy by 2, and society by 2. So what you're gonna do is under miscellaneous down here. on Kabe, you have to increase your consumption by 1, which is right here, your society by 2, and your economy by 2. And society by 2. So that's all because of your second noble villa that you put into place. So that's nice. That's done. So this mansion actually becomes Kappa Costa. Come over here. Let's merge you boys. And this is actually a noble villa in Thoreau. And then just so we don't forget details, 2 to 1 in Misk. Just so we don't forget why the hell those are down there. Because if you know anything about me, I'm going to forget why the hell those are down there.
Yeah.
Excuse, don't yup me. Like you're not going to forget.
No, I'm definitely gonna forget.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yup. Who won the last hype train, sir?
I have no idea.
Nick.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. You don't want to give them both to Nick though. That'd be lame. Want to give them people just want to see magic spike through the roof more than it already has in the world. You don't want that. You don't want that. Why don't you keep the magic lower? Weaker magic. So I say if I do Aurorum 2.0, it'll be done the correct way with definitely lower magic. All right, so that was your first building. What's your second building here is your theater. Don't forget to pay your BP for your theater.
Yeah, I'll pay it for both now.
Okay. And that's done. Don't forget to pay your BP for what's the other building? Your luxury store.
Yep.
And let's add those into your actual city, which they're not there yet. Nope. So theater and luxury store. Increase those each by 1. Wow, that jacks up your economy a good bit. And your base value just went up by 2. Holy crap. Your base value is 5,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next is the waterfront.
Okay, cool. Any other buildings finishing? By the way, Noble Villa does
No.
not count as buildings taken inside this area, so we don't actually count Noble Villa or the Theron one towards how big your city is.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's it. That's finishing here. Let me just check your other town, Nochi. You don't care about that place, and unnamed town because you definitely don't care about that place. Nothing there either. Kabe, anything you're starting to build right now that would be effectively finished right away, or
No.
so you're not starting any new projects.
Nope. That'll be next one.
Okay. We have to do a count to see how many you have done. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it becomes a metropolis after you finish 2 whole districts, right? And you've already done 4 districts. So 1 plus Noble Villa equals you have an entire district here. And then out of 36, you have 2, 4, 6.
Don't count the ones in red, obviously. 'cause
8,
they're not there.
yeah, 10. So you only have 10 done out of 36. You need 27 more to become a metropolis, and then you'll see some huge changes happening over there. Like, for instance, your base value goes up by another grand right off the bat. Population goes up. A bunch of your stats change. All right.
Yeah.
So that's it for buildings? Not
Yep.
starting anything new?
Nope.
Cell wins number 2. All right, cool. After that, sir, is going to be anything army related. Are you raising soldiers for armies? Are you training any armies?
Yes, we are
Are you
adding another
equipping
100.
armies? So this is you're trying to roll to get 100?
No, I already have them. It's the training. I need to put them in the training.
Okay, so we're doing the training, which is the expensive part.
Yeah.
All right. So why are you? Is this a brand new army that you're training, or are you expanding a previous army?
No. Expanding Urzogs from 100 to 200.
Oh. You weren't here last week when Cell didn't understand the rules.
No.
You don't pay to train that army.
Are you sure?
When you
Remember that one?
expand an army versus train a new army, you don't pay to train them. It just takes a month.
Oh. So I just increase
Yeah.
in size?
So I will go over this again for those that maybe didn't hear it last week, or for Jake who wasn't here. If you have an ultimate battle open, I don't know if you do or not. If you
I
open up
do not.
ultimate battle, it's PDF page 23, book page 18, but PDF page 23 out of 35. I'll give you a second to grab that.
Give me a sec.
I'll give you the link right here inside Zoom chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And again, PDF page 23. You can type at the top in your browser.
23?
So after you get new soldiers, once you get your recruits, it says that your recruits can it says, let's see, once people are recruited, they are considered recruits but are not yet in an army. The kingdom's consumption increases by 100 for every 100 recruits or fraction thereof, so even one person increases it by 100, right? It supports and recruits count against the kingdom's manpower limit. Recruits that will not be used as reinforcements to an existing unit or used to form a new unit can be kept at the improvement where they were recruited in anticipation of adding further recruits in the future. Or they can be sent home to avoid paying consumption or to decrease the kingdom's manpower load, right? So, yay. Reinforcements. Recruits can be added to an existing army that has been bloodied. As described above, this kind of heals your army. As described above. They can also be added to an existing army to increase its size to the next size category larger. See Table 3 size army. Whether replacing a bloodied army or expanding a healthy army, the new recruits provide no benefit to the army until the end of the month in which the recruits were added. You were added this past month, right? So now they add the benefit. So the cost for you is not training. So training is a separate thing written afterwards. Once a sufficient number of soldiers has been attracted, you can begin to form them into one or more armies or units by spending BP equal to blah, 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 blah. At this point, army must train at the end of the next kingdom, blah, 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 right? Nothing there about being added to an existing army. So it's free to add them to an army. It just takes the whole month.
As long as you have the required manpower.
As long as you have the required number of people to hit the minimum limit to the next army size, which
Yeah,
you do.
yeah.
You're doing 100, right?
Mhm.
So you get to 200. And as long as you equip them adequately going into the new size.
Yep. Okay.
So what kind of equipment did his army have prior to the expansion?
Let me bring that up.
Herzog's Chargers had heavy armor, superior weapons, ranged weapons, and shields. That's some heavy shit, boyo. Like
That's all
costly shit,
good.
I should say.
Hey, the Theron's still paying dividends, my friend.
How much do you have left over of that pocket of money?
I have to calculate what that was. I don't remember.
It was 20 originally.
I think I used like, yeah. I think I had like, I think it was like 8. I think.
You have that written down somewhere?
It's a good question. Very good question. No,
I'll give you a minute to look it over. So while
yeah.
he's looking that over, I'll give you a moment, Jake. I'm going to talk to chat, so ignore me for a second. While he's looking that over, just so everybody knows, of the things that is, so what he's expanding from 100 to 200, that means he has to pay. So an army of 100, the cost of all the goods is at 1x. At 200, it's at 2x, right? So that means whatever the raw cost is, he has to pay that a whole extra time for all of the goods. So that means that heavy armor is 8. Superior weapons is 4, so it's 12 BP. Ranged weapons is 1, so he's at 13 BP. And shields is 1, so he's at 14 BP. So he would have to shell out 14 BP right now just to properly, adequately get his army in there. If they don't all have the equipment, the army is considered as not having the equipment. That's just how it works. So it's either all or nothing. So he
Where's
has to be able to shell to 14.
cost?
Go ahead.
Cost. Where's the cost section?
Yep, page 25, so just 2 pages lower than where you were.
All right.
And then the army sizes chart, that was on page 17. But I just told you what it was, so you don't have to worry about that part.
Yeah.
Cool. So like I just
So
told
you
it's
just did
14
the
BP.
calculation then, right?
Yep, it's 14.
So that's what I have to
Shell
come up
out
with,
right
right?
now to have your army actually have
Yeah.
all that equipment.
So then, if that's the case, I've already shelled out 14 of the Throne gifted stuff. Then, right?
That sounds accurate. Yeah, if all that shit
Yeah.
is on them only because of Throne and not because of any of your own
Yep.
investments, then yes,
Dang.
actually, yeah.
I don't
cool.
even. I honestly don't remember.
No, that actually makes sense. That means you have 6 left over. So 6 out of 14 means that you still owe 8 BP, which I think you were planning on spending on training the army,
Training.
but instead you're just
Yeah.
so you're done with the Throne cost, and now
Yep.
you're spending 8 BP out of your pocket, and now your
Yep.
army just went to 200. So
Yep.
I will give you the
Good.
pleasure of clicking the armies tab on your spreadsheet and changing your size from 100 to 200.
Okay.
That should increase your ACR considerably for you. It looks like it did it.
It still says 7. Yeah.
That's because the math on your ACR is broken.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to fix it. Copy. Paste. Wait, am I not allowed to copy paste? Paste. Oh, because you're the owner of the sheet, I can't. Go over to where it says ogres and it says ACR
Yep.
5. Not the contents of the cell, but copy the cell, and then go over and paste it onto the ACR 7. And that should fix it for you because somebody wrote a 7 there, unfortunately. And then enter away, like press enter or whatever. It still
Not
says
working.
7. It's not copy and pasted. Is Cell the actual owner of the sheet? Or am I the actual owner of the sheet with my other one? Because I'm lost initiative on this screen over here. Give me 1 second. Can I actually copy paste?
I'm not the owner because I'm not signed in. If you know what I'm talking about.
Gotcha. I bet Cell is the owner. That's why. Can you ping Cell? Because I don't think he gave. I think he has permission set on there from when he copied my original sheet. He probably has permission set so only the editor, the owner, can make alterations. And then he took my thing and he made alterations to it and then shared some to you guys. So, but that's fine. So I'm pretty sure that makes your ACR go from a 7 to a 9, and that'll affect a whole bunch of your shit, including your resting consumption. Your resting consumption should have just gone up to a 2. So I think though that your recruits already brought up your consumption, didn't it?
It did before, yeah. Now it's saying my consumption is a 4 though, for some reason, when it was 0.
Because you
and then-
added land.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's correct.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
So you added land, so it was a 2, right? You added land, makes it a 3. Added land, makes it a 4, and added a building that increased your consumption, made it a 5, and then you built a farm, which should have reduced it down to a 3, I think.
Mhm.
So it's probably a 3. No, it's a 4. That could be. I'm just double checking your army size.
There you go.
So, your armies should now be. I assumed you pinged Cell.
I haven't yet, because he said he was doing something, but I was gonna get it done, at some point
So
soon.
your army is Urzog's chargers now are resting of 2. Your ogres, because those are still alive, right?
Yep.
Resting of 1. Your gobos are resting of 1, and
No,
your
they pay for themselves because you gave them that ability.
Okay.
So I don't have to pay for them.
Urzog's elites have a resting of 1.
Yeah.
So your army's resting rate should be 4. Currently it's written it's 2. So I have to change that.
Mhm.
Because it just went up.
Yeah.
You did actually increase your farm though, right?
I did, yeah. I did.
Because you
increase
you
the
also
farm.
said you increased your canal and it didn't. So now I want to double check your farm number before we move on. Because I don't
Yeah.
want to screw up. So you have
Yep.
one. How many of these are fertilized farms? 13. So there's
13,
1,
I
2,
think.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I think are fertilized farms. Right? Chat, make sure I'm counting this right. So you have 1, 2,
No,
3,
13.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. How do you not count 14 as the fertilized farms?
There's one overlap. Right here.
Oh my god, I was thinking your new town had it, but it's your old town that has it. My
Yeah.
apologies. Thank you for correcting me. So
You're
there's
good.
13 there. And so you should have 23 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. So your consumption
Yeah,
is
you're
now
good.
6. Yeah. But I mean, once your proxy war goes away, it's really a 0. So
Yeah.
awesome. Edicts. Now that you've trained, you've risen, you've trained, you've armed and armored your army. His army is scary expensive when they're active. What is your next plan? Do you have any other edicts you wanted to do right now?
No, not at the moment.
And I just want to look at one thing real quick because there were some suggestions. There was a festival edict that you were thinking about doing. There was an espionage edict that we had discussed and you wanted to do. I think your hand got forced, not this turn, but next turn. I'll get to that in a second. There's a diplomacy edict you were thinking about doing, but I don't remember who with. I think it was not Theron, but one of the other ones. Let's see. There was the army equipping and whatnot. There was something about taming barren boars, but I think that's something that you're as very much in the back burner for now. Oh, you're a center of power for your NPCs. Have those already been put into place?
I have a question about that. Some have, but so just I'll use this for an example with Aurorum, right? So obviously temple. When that gets upgraded in cathedral, I can just then it will just change to his center of power being the cathedral, right? I don't have to wait till a cathedral is built. Okay, yeah.
Well, once the cathedral is done being built, it affects the cathedral. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
But it'll remain on the temple until, and we're talking it's instant. Like it should all be simple and beneficial for you. Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I have 2. Let me see. I can't remember. Erzog's one. Yeah, I have. Bring it up. So Irithel was going to be the Aerie. The temple for Aurorum.
You didn't actually put these on your sheets yet, right? Cool.
No,
So,
I haven't done any of that.
So let's do Irithel first as the Aerie. What town is that in? Kabe?
Yep, it's all in Kabe.
Okay. What's it called?
That's the Aerie.
What was it named? Like
I don't think it's been named yet.
Is that Ashen Phoenix?
Yes. Yep.
Ashen Phoenix, if you are here, I know sometimes you lurk while either playing video games or finishing up work when you have to work late. Ashen Phoenix, if you're here, what would he want to name an Aerie? So more or less like a bird porium for sending messages to and from. With that being his center of power, giving benefits to Jake. While we're hoping Ashen Phoenix is here and seeing if he responds, if not, we'll get it later. Aries offer. What does an Aerie offer? They offer 2 to stability, and so I think that's the only thing that it increases for you.
Yep.
So center of power, stability goes up by 2. Okay, who's the next person?
Aurorum.
Aurorum is the temple?
Yep.
With that one, that's Grimesy. You might want to shoot him a text, or if you want to just name it for him, because it's somebody you know IRL, what he would want to name that.
It's the Temple of the Warmonger.
Okay. So just simply Temple of the Warmonger?
Yeah.
Okay. I already applied the benefit for the temple right there. Let me just rename it for you. That is the Temple to Vroga one
Yeah, that's the one.
with the sister in there. Okay, so Temple of the Warmonger. Cool. Plus sister. Awesome. What's the next building?
Where is it? I think it was going to be the garrison for Herzog.
That sounds
sure.
right.
Yeah.
That sounds right. I don't think anything else would make sense for Urzog. I mean, feel free to message Cell real quick if you wanted to, but that honestly just sounds correct to me.
I'm
unless you
pretty
wanted
sure we
him to
spoke
be the
about it.
Densho dubstep, like a dance hall.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So a garrison is a 2/2, just like a temple is. Wow, this is a big one for dude. Your stability is through the roof just from this one. Like your stability is so good. If you had the economy, you could expand like insane. You just need an army, and an economy. Oh,
No, that's it.
you just again, that's the hard part is you have to have like the money. So you need to like somehow change your buildings to be like make me money buildings, not just like economy check money, but like BP producing buildings. But anyways, who's next?
Ashen did name it, actually. I'm reading now. He named it 10,000 Eyes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Airy. So we do this. 10,000 fists in the airy. Do do do. All right, cool. 10,000 eyes. What's the next one? Oh, did I color these in the other people's sheets? I feel like I did.
I'm just reading it now. Yeah, Herzog was the garrison, so that's correct. The only one I don't have is I know what Vikings is going to be. It's going to be the waterfront when we build it, which we're going to start building it next turn. And the only other one is Xylamos, which I don't have.
You don't know what Zyles is? Zyle, you here today? Zyle. Zyle. Zyle.
I almost feel like his would be the town hall once it gets built, but I'll leave it up to him, of course.
We say that one more time.
I said I almost feel like what's the name?
Salamos?
Yeah, but what's the character's name?
Oh, let me look at your people. Not Sarush. Who is Sarush for you?
That's Vikings.
Oh, okay. Did Vikings say which one was his?
Zal. Yeah. It's going to be the waterfront when we build it.
Oh, which isn't made yet, which you literally just said 2 seconds ago. Okay. So,
so Zal or Saren.
Saren. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your Orkuli. Ooh.
Yes.
Orkuli
That's why I
would
was
be...
feeling like possibly the town hall, but I mean, if you're looking at the buildings I have already built.
I mean, a town
what
hall?
are they?
I almost feel like it should be something like a library, or I know it can't be
Oh, it could be.
monastery because
Yeah.
that's the broken chain people, but like
Yeah.
a library would be good. And monuments could be good, like not stat wise, but like meaning wise.
Yeah.
What's another building that would make sense for an Orkuli? Because they're the keepers of knowledge and whatnot for like, the Ash and Orc.
Yeah.
Right? So what's a good Orkuli building? Because you might want to start building that ASAP if you can.
Yeah.
A castle? I mean, actually, it kind of makes sense. Isn't Xylamos also your like backup power person?
Yeah. So Arakuli will rule
Actually,
the clan.
I won't lie.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, looks like Zalamos gets to name the castle, I guess.
Like that makes a lot of sense. It's literally the person that controls your kingdom in your absence.
Yeah.
Whether if you be dead or so on and so forth, and they hold all like the secret lore and whatnot of your kingdom and of your history, the secret lore, and spread the knowledge of the
Yeah.
public lore. And I like that. Zalamos has a very big responsibility.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll let them name it later on, but the castle gets double. Oh my God. Jesus. Okay. And it doesn't double defense bonuses or anything like that, right? It doesn't double fame or anything like that. Does fame go up
I don't think so.
from center of power? I don't remember.
I'd have to look up the center of power feat.
Yeah, I gotta double check that myself real quick. And then I'm gonna right after this we have to go to the edict part. I have to check it. Yeah, fame of a building is doubled. So temples don't offer fame. Castles offer 1 fame, so that does get doubled. So that makes it so you have 1 more fame. Another fame might increase your consumption by 1. Let's see. An area does not offer fame. Okay. And okay, cool. So wow. All right. No, it does not affect your consumption. But your stability is now a fucking 97. That's amazing. You're now at the point where you may have been prior to this, but you're now at a point where you cannot fail any rolls. Even if you had like 10 unrest, which is like scary. If you had 10 unrest, the only roll you could fail is economy.
Yeah.
And that we're talking just barely. If you rolled a 1.
But this is the problem is I'm stunted from going south. Whereas that's why I need to increase my army size so I can start clearing out some of those areas and actually expanding where I want to go.
Yep. No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That and you also you consistently struggle with your economy. Like your economy is always one of your biggest limiting
It's only
factors.
just kind of even gotten up to somewhere decent recently.
If Nick had more, which they're cheaper to build than mines, but more, what are they called? Sawmills earlier, he would have crushed you guys with economy across the board. But now he's kind of like playing catch up with that because he had the highest consumption for a while and was not producing enough economy for a while. Because out of the 3 of you, he's the only one that had no experience with Pathfinder kingdom building rules. So you actually played it before and Sel watched it before. So so that's why it actually almost acted as like a balancing factor because Nick was actually in the most strategic location, but he had the least experience of PCs, so it made an even playing field. But now he's going to start falling behind if he doesn't fix it, and then there's so much pressure of all the other shit. Yay! All right, moving on. Cool. So to finish the conversation, now that we did center of power, back to the edicts. Nick, this is where I needed you, sir. And Jake, your memory as well, and chat, your memories as well. There was a triggering event to say, Zinquin, go fuck yourself. I hope you die in a goddamn ball of fire, right? Like choke to death, right? That triggering event, Jake, weren't you the one that did the espionage edict that uncovered everything?
Yeah, I got the vital information and that was it, yeah.
And your idea was, I believe you as a PC wanted to talk to the other PCs, but I don't think you had a chance yet because you went away on your vacation, to be like, guys, we should, like, in succession, absolutely annihilate them in every way possible. We should just completely destroy them. Wasn't that your plan too?
Sounds right. I can't remember, but because we learned that because me and I think and Cell were like actively supporting that proxy war for us going on, right? It had been like going fairly well, bad for Zinquin, and then I found out about the like the fields, and there was a whole setting fire to the fields and all that stuff. That's what I remember.
So Nick's turn happens before yours, which is why I wanted you to be here, and then Nick does his other turn before I have you go back to you again. So Nick's actual turn, so more or less right after you had your turn where you came across this information and whatnot, Nick's character, who did not get your information, who wanted to act of his own volition, he did not have your information on hand. He's like, I'm gonna go fuck with Zinquin too. Like, I'm just gonna go do it. And he critically succeeded in converting an army to betray, not to walk away, but to betray them. Critical success means he converted 2 of their armies to work against them as opposed to for them. Yeah, Nick, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to add to that as well, or.
No, I think that's basically all that happened. I know we don't know technically the outcome of that yet, I think.
Correct. And then after Nick's turn was Cell's second turn, which happened just prior to, which would have been actually Cell's second turn would have been technically after the turn that you're taking now. Cell went over there and he did some stuff too, but that's in the future of where you are, which is again why we kind of had to pause for a moment.
Yeah.
So more or less what happened was you went over there and you got some information. Then Nick went over there and like set some shit on fire and so on and so forth. So kind of like if you want to keep the secession going, like everything's kind of like rolling at them. So not including what Cell's character has not done yet, would you want to approach them now? And that question kind of comes two-pronged. One, you already have one that's more or less paid for. You just get to toss some supplies over to what's-her-name's way, Vienna. Vienna already has the steeds rented from, I think you bought them off Nick, and that's where she got them. Yeah. So the horses, she's going to take care of it, and she has her own like approach, and she wants to, I think, burn down the stockyard. Was the plan. She was supposed to burn down the stockyard or set the fields on fire. That's what she was supposed to do. She was supposed to go there and set the fields on fire. Because Cell eventually burns down a noble villa and a stockyard. Just hasn't happened. Okay. So she was supposed to go set a bunch of fields on fire. That was the information you got. So I assume you wanted to send her for that.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Okay. Did you want to try to do anything else, or no, I'm too poor at the moment?
Oh, I'm way too poor at the moment.
Okay. So all of her supplies, everything she needs for like doing this campaign, the army, the equipment, all that stuff, that's already been paid for and taken care of. You don't need to pay for that. The only thing I'm charging you is 1d4 BP for the sake of actually giving her like the food and so on and so forth to be able to get there and back to more or less set up the information chain that you need. So it's kind of like funding the actual attack. So I don't know how many BP you have left, but I assume you're somewhere in that range that you're going to be okay.
Look, if it's 4, I'll take 1 unrest.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Yeah, I have 3 BP.
Yeah. You're at the point where you could be like Trump. You could be like, "What? Debt's not necessarily a bad thing. You can play with debt." Like,
yeah, Joey should roll the D4.
Sure. Joey, roll me a 4. Even though it doesn't really do anything. It just sets Jake back a little bit.
Thank you, Joey. Thank you.
Vienna's like, tonight, boys, we dine on orc. Like, live off the land. Live off the man on the land. All right. So she is going to go over there and absolutely terrorize the area. She is. So while you are currently funding, was it Reba? What's the name of that nation to the south?
Ribaroda?
Ribaroda, thank you. So Ribarodo. So while you're funding Ribarodo to the south and doing that whole bit successfully, mind you, at the same time you're doing that, a stockyard was burned down. A noble villa was burned down. They're repairable, but like the conversation that Cell was having in the future, right? So the future of where you are is the nobles there are already corrupt. We've seen it left and right consistently. They're clearly going to worry about fixing the noble villa before they worry about fixing the stockyard, just because they care more about themselves than the people. But now with the stockyard dead, a lot of the farm's value drop down, they're not as effective. So she's rushing in and seeing that the stockyard is being attacked, because it's almost, by the time she gets up there, because he's closer, it's effectively like she's like, oh, why am I doing this? And goes and starts attacking all the farms that aren't affected by the stockyard. So by burning down that one stockyard, you have like 7 farms drop from 3 to 2 consumption reduction. So more or less drops it by 7. If she burns down 3 or 4 fields, that affects it by another 6 to 8 more consumption reduction. That is absolute insanity. But one second, I want to double check something really quickly. So, when word gets to the people of Riberoto, that the fields of Clan Zinquin are ablaze, that literally their city has been sacked, that their soldiers are turning on them, that all this is happening, this it more or less like ignites a fire in the hearts and the minds of the Karuk that happen to exist there. Like, it's not directly known that your kingdoms were involved, and maybe in the future you'll take credit for it, maybe not, who knows, right? But for now, this absolutely ignites them for wanting to participate in this. This doesn't just ignite Riberoto for doing this. Another clan that has also had significant problems with Zinquin sees blood in the water, and their economy is suffering greatly for it. You actually have what's the name of the clan that's right here? The one that's friends with Cell.
Kagong?
Is that Kagong? I'm trying to find that on my other map over here. It is Kagong. I just didn't make it so you guys can see it over here. So let me just do controlled by all players, and then you can see it. So Kagong is going to also raise a small army to go and start attacking as well. So Kagong is not going to be able to do it too much, but you can imagine Kagong kind of comes this way and starts just doing like hit and run tactics against the southern city of theirs to start also pillaging and taking some wealth for themselves to help bolstering themselves back up. So Kagong even gets involved in the fight, right? The reason why I bring this up, Jake, is because to finally finish off Clan Zinquin, a few different things can happen. Right now, it's been pretty much a proxy war, and you guys can hang back and try to be uninvolved and allow that whole Eastern Kajinxi to kind of consume itself. Jake, this is to you. Nick, sorry, this is to you as well. You can allow Eastern Kajinxi to consume itself, so on and so forth. You can try to use diplomatic edicts to try to inspire people like Mamasu to rush westward and kind of like lands grab and whatnot that area for themselves to expand Mamasu's power and influence, because they are various degrees of allies to yours, so it might be worth it to convince your ally to build up from what they already are. Or, Nick, if you wanted to, don't you actually already have armies over in Mamasu?
I do.
You could also do like a diplomatic edict or whatever, convince them to allow your armies to go over there and you personally wage war against them. You have all these rulings, everything else that's kind of come to a head, all the information you've gathered across the way. You have the news, you have the reports that you could have dropped on the lap of Zinquin beforehand. You guys were just waiting for the opportune moment to kind of release it in the courts, right? Like, if you wanted to, you can release the information that you have, make the appropriate checks to make sure it works. I think for your character is what's her name? Nick, you have your Grand Diplomat and you have your Spy Master, those two.
Shala and Michiko.
Azada? Oh,
Or
Michiko.
Dead as well.
Michiko.
Yeah.
Michiko and Shala. One of those two or both of them can go and try to more or less make it so it's a legal war that you're waging, and bum rush them. You know, absolutely take them out while they're weak. That could be a great opportunity for you. There's dangers, but that could be a great opportunity for you to claim a huge chunk of land over there for yourself. Might be worth it.
It would, but we have to kill some Frostbait first.
Into what?
We have to kill Frostbait first.
Frost what?
Frost Fae.
Oh, Frost Fae. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't get this other word. I think the music's just a little too loud for me. Let me turn it down a little bit. There we go. Music was just a little too loud. So if it was that way for anybody else as well, I do apologize. But either way, yeah, so yeah, absolutely. Zinquin is set ablaze. There's blood in the water. There is a weakened state considerably. And just to be clear on the mechanics of this for you guys, they cannot, what is it? They can be an active part of your kingdom if you take them, but if they're not continuous with your kingdom, you have two options. One, they become a vassal state if you were to successfully, take them over, or two, they can become an uncontinuous part of your kingdom. What does uncontinuous mean? Well, that actually means that you gain unrest every kingdom turn. And so now your whole job is unrest management while you try to make them continuous to some degree or another, while you try to figure it out. That could be difficult, but might be worth it in the end. So, something to keep in mind. All right, back to you, Jake. Thank you for spending your 1 BP. I hate you. Any other edicts? Or are you done?
No, I'm done.
Cool. Are you withdrawing anything from the treasury before you answer that
No.
question?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's making you armor. The armor is very expensive.
Okay.
The material, not including the magic alone, is 20,000 gold pieces. We didn't come up with the exact cost, but it's somewhere along the lines of, let's just call it 20,000 gold pieces for the new armor being made for you, out of the ashen boar's flesh, so on and so forth. It has mechanical benefits, and you and I can talk about it off stream, like what you actually want to do for the final decisions or whatever. But it is an expensive item. It's being crafted. It's going to take 2 or 3 months to fully finish because they're using Get It Done and pretty much every other Jorman ability to pull the shit off for you. But it is something that needs to be paid for. It's something that needs to be taken care of. You're going to need gold pieces to pull that off.
Okay.
How much do you have on your character?
Not much. I bought a lot of stuff. I have 1,330.
So not much.
Yeah.
Every BP that you sacrifice as a withdraw is an unrest. Who cares? That's not much. It is BP, which is expensive. But it does convert to 2,000 gold.
All right. Well, I guess I'll take the 2 that's in there out, I suppose, if I'm going to need this in a few months. So take 2 unrest.
Okay, sure. 2 unrest. You pull out 4,000 gold pieces or 2 BP. And that starts building towards what you need to buy this for. Cool. Again, I'll go over the finer details with you off stream, so we're not wasting campaign time for this.
Yep.
And we'll get into it. All right, cool. Anything else here? I think that's that. Are you depositing anything in the treasury? And are you selling anything expensive?
No.
It's time to collect taxes. Can you don't forget to roll your luck die first, and let me look some shit over really quickly just to make sure I'm not missing any details before you actually roll this. Oh, and also let me. You were supposed to have one more luck than that, just so you're aware. It came in earlier. I just didn't pop it in yet. All right. All right, here we go. All right. Kind of partway through those. Oh, you already did the diplomacy with Densho and Manmuso, Manmasu, whatever it is. Shala, deal with that afterwards. is that referring to? Give me 1 second. This is. What's that? Okay. It's already being done. I just want to make sure there's nothing here specifically designed to help you in this scenario.
Yeah.
All right. So the Vienna thing is all paid for. That you just had to pay a tiny amount. You don't have to pay for like the active army, make the check, so on and so forth. That was a fortune's favor. To put all that into place, she's disguised as a bandit with a demonic mask named Firebrand to remove suspicion from Densho, and so on and so forth. So that was already known and taken care of. And she absolutely crushed it over there, lighting fire into the hearts of those in the area, more or less causing Xinquin to come crashing down. So that was a big thing there. Okay, let me just keep going up this way. No. No. Almost there. Huh. Okay, done. So nothing there benefiting you beyond all the awesome stuff you just got. Cool. All right. You can go ahead and roll. Don't forget to add 12 bonus BP in the bonus area. So there's 1 from luck and 12 for the bonus, because that all came from viewers over the course of the past XYZ. There was 6 of those that were popped in. So unless somebody was popping in any others right now, I'll give you 10 seconds. If I see one pop up in the next 10 seconds, you can add it. Otherwise, it'll have to go later on. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as long as all your modifiers are in, you can go ahead and roll. Ooh, a big roll. Yes. Oh, that's right. You are, I forgot, a bad person. Beautiful.
Oh, I needed that so badly.
How long have you had crushing taxes?
A while, like 5 turns maybe.
Yeah, you've had it for a while. I think it starts, so next term makes 6 turns. Then you have to start hitting your loyalty for how bad you're taxing the shit out of them. I can't allow you to just keep doing, like, not getting punished for it. That's ridiculous.
Alright, so add that in. Jeez, that actually helps me so much because I have to use so much of it next turn on the one building as well.
Yeah, you currently have 0 BP, ticking BP cost, do you? Aside from the consumption
no, I don't
problem.
have any.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can handle consumption management, so the proxy war is what, 2 more months you're paying it off? Otherwise your consumption would be 0. It's almost one of those things like, do you really want to keep ticking down your, I suppose you do. You do still want to keep ticking down your consumption because you want to be able to handle your armies going active, don't you?
Yeah.
So what's your target for, if you're not funding a proxy war, what's your target to have like negative 12 BP?
Well, the next thing we're doing, which is why I need so much, is we're building the waterfront, which is a huge cost because I can halve it, which doubles the cost, and I build it in 6 months. But then I can also add another, take it down 3 steps with that ability. So I can have a waterfront in 4 months, but it's
how long does it usually take?
Cost 12.
Wow, it usually takes a year and you have it done in 4 months?
Yep. So that alone next week is that is a massive cost. But apart from that, I need to start building granaries. So I need that negative consumption to be able to field these larger armies, which I want to do.
Bro, that's a 90 BP project.
Yeah.
But it gives you discount to black market, which is a huge thing.
Yep.
Oh my God, plus 4,000 to your base value?
Yeah. Yeah. And discount market as well.
Halves the loyalty penalty on your taxation edicts?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Discount market, discount black hall, discount guild hall. Pier is nice too. It can be upgraded from peer, which obviously you don't have yet. And you want to start that literally next month, right?
Yeah.
I
So
almost wish
that
you started
BP
it
that I
peer this
got
month, but
almost. I wanted to start it this month, but I had
you
that.
couldn't.
I didn't have
It
it.
wasn't possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So pretty much most of that BP is going to be gone, but that initial massive cost, and then after next week it's only another 3, and I've got it. So, yeah.
Oh, if you could build it
canals
out
are
of
all
wood and it
built,
halves the
so-
costs. You can build your waterfront out of wood and it halves the cost too.
No,
But
you
that
just,
also makes
you
it
just-
very prone to, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to understand how this works. So it's usually 90 BP. 90 is usually spread over the course of 12 months, right? So it's usually about this. 7.5 a month. However,
It's
that
got
works
it
out.
here. So it's 6 BP for 12 months. So you double it to 12 BP for 6.
Wait, it was 6
Right?
BP for 12 months? That actually
Yeah,
sounds
that's what it-
cheaper.
Look at
Oh,
the,
you know why
on the- in
you
the
know why
book.
it's cheaper? It's because there's now a time factor that didn't used to exist, right? So 6 times 12, you said 12 months?
Yep.
Ends up being 72. So it's actually, instead of 90 BP, it's only 72, which isn't as bad. But you're saying that you're so how do you cut it in half?
I have the ability with one of my followers that allows halving of construction time.
But you pay the full cost in that amount of time.
Yes.
So instead it is the exact opposite of that is 6 months, 12 BP each. And then you could do 3 months all at once.
Yes.
So that is 12 times 3 is 36 all at once. All right, so it's month 1 is 1, 2, 3. And then you still have to do 4, 5, 6. So that's why it's 4 months instead of a year. Still, holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. And 36 isn't that bad of an investment. So that's not that bad.
It's good.
Yeah. All right, cool. Wow. And dude, that is just so chat knows what this goes, and Nick, so you know, it increases economy by 4. So that's nice and all. It discounts huge things like Black Market and Guild Hall and Market. But big thing is like plus 4,000 to your space value. So now real items can come in. And speaking of, it adds 2 minor wondrous items, 1 medium wondrous item, 1 major wondrous item. It also increases productivity by 2, which is nice. Wow.
Yeah, and like I
Okay.
said, Sarash's center of power is going to be that. So that's going to be a 8 to economy.
8 BP?
You know what I'm saying? 8 to economy, yeah.
And as long as you're doing crushing taxes, I have to increase your loyalty penalty, but that doesn't change the fact that like it makes it a free. As long as you're crushing, it's 4 BP a month. It pays itself off. Wow.
Yeah.
Might as well endow it, maybe. Oh, depending on what endow it offers. But all right, cool. Wow. All right. That's everything there. Wow. Let's talk about your actual events. Let's work through these. The trial duel. People were talking about throwing a festival edict for the trial. We're just gonna do that next month. More or less, everything got delayed by a month because of in-game reason. Blah blah blah. Cool.
Yeah.
We're just not gonna penalize you for Vikings work changing because that'd be some bullshit. So that'll take place Dencho's next month. Cool. So we did the canal festival edict. We're gonna hold off. Espionage edict you didn't do because you were happy with just sending what's her name in there to go and set shit on fire, and that was double fortune's favored. So we didn't even roll for that. That was just incredibly successful, and everything that happened. One fortune's favor was dropped a long time ago, as you know, and one was very recent. That was like real life 5 months ago. So that was all working towards you getting your revenge, which I don't blame viewers for wanting to do that. They literally poisons all 3 of your characters in your kingdom. So, all right. You equipped your army, which you wanted to do. You did all of your center of powers, sans 1, and you're missing a name.
Yep.
Assassination attempt on the Viper. That was.
It has to play out. It has to play out next month
At-
with the edict.
That's what
I mean,
thought.
not the
Okay,
edict,
yeah.
with the thing, because it was
Yeah,
supposed to be
which
this month,
makes
but
sense.
obviously doesn't make sense now.
And
so.
that's because of what we rolled for the random event last month or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, cool. Try and get the Viper. Okay, yep. So go for Hoshi as the new wife instead of having Masumi be the focus. We're already aware of that, but again, that has to be pushed back to next month. Vienna doing the raid on Zinquin, which we already knew. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I have to tell him the tail end of that too, but that won't come until his next kingdom turn. Vienna requested to be ambassador to stay. Okay, cool. We'll do this. So Nick, there's not a ton left for him, and then we're gonna move over to you. Okay. He has events, so you're wrong, but it's not like it's gonna take the rest of the time. We're not even 2 hours in. We've been kind of going through it pretty quickly. So when Vienna comes back from her like tremendous success of setting a bunch of fields on fire out there, so absolutely destroying a lot of Zinquin's area. It's not like she knows how many farms she set on fire. It's not. It's not. I set this many hexes on fire. Like, but she did go out there and absolutely terrorize the region successfully, so on and so forth. When she comes back from doing so, she doesn't just come back. She comes back with part of destroying an area as you actually get to keep a lot of wealth. I believe it's under ultimate battle, and I believe the word I'm looking for is pillage. So pillage and plunder. Let's see. Can be taken in battle. The spoils are a number of BP equals to 1/4 the army that was defeated or half the army that was disbanded. But it's also like if you destroy stuff too. So in addition to an army of 50 or more spending a week burning fields and slaughtering herds, tearing down buildings, and generally wreaking havoc. It requires 50 or more soldiers to do so, by the way, which obviously she did. At the end of each week, all terrain improvements in that hex ends the army's commander wishes to destroy buildings unless the kingdom owns the stability check for -1 for every 50 soldiers engaged in the pillaging of the land. The success preserves those improvements, but pillaging armies undertake another week of destruction. And stability with additional -5 for each week after the first. Pillaging armies earned 1 BP for their kingdom for each improvement they destroy. Okay? So the way that this plays out for you, Jake, is because she's gone for a month, she's able to pillage for 4 weeks while she's out there, just destroying every improvement that she could during the time that she's out there. I imagine you would only want her gone for the month and then to return. I imagine you wouldn't want her to stay out there because this is somebody of value because of who her mother is and so on and so forth. You'd want her recalled, right?
Yep.
Cool. So I would say that she would end up keeping one of the BP for herself and for the army. You know, probably for herself and the army and whatnot, so they have like extra money for themselves. But then the other 3 BP, actually it says for your kingdom, so never mind, fuck that. 4 BP goes to you.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nick, you have an army of 50 over there, right? So remember that thing I mentioned? Cool. All right. Moving on. Can your people live off the lands too? Like reduce their costs and then go and take money for you? All right. So back to you, Jake. So she comes back and she kind of informs you of this, that, and the other thing. By sheer coincidence, at the same time that she happens to be back, is one of the many times that your kingdom is entertaining delegates from Throne. I mean, they have a noble villa in your place. There's always delegates that are there. You speak to them fairly often. I imagine there's even conversation of potentially putting member of Throne's people in your council chambers for certain meetings, similar to how you've had, I don't know if you still do, Kushibashi and Shado counselors. The reason why I know that Varix wouldn't have conceded and done this at any point in time, despite whichever of his advisors would suggest it, is because he knows that there's a lot of animosity right now between Shado and Throne, and you wouldn't want to make it look like you're necessarily taking sides by elevating one, whereas keeping things where they currently are might be okay. I'm bringing this up as something that you as a PC can decide on, but is in-game, there's a little bit of pressure coming your way to make a decision like that. Okay? Cool.
Yeah.
Vienna spends a lot of time with one of the members of Throne, though. It's what's that woman's name there? The Grand Diplomat. The one that you've encountered before. Do you remember her name?
I do not. I know who you're
I'm
talking
terrible
about.
with
I
names.
don't know.
Yeah, she spends a considerable amount of time with her, and after she's returned home, one of the things that she would mention is that she would kind of come to you and say, Warlord Varix, I know I've only returned from the slashing and burning for a few days' time. That's it. Mazzara Throne. Thanks, guys. So, for slashing and burning a few times, for a few days, but something came up in those few days. I have a request. She says, asking, because like she knows this she's supposed to do, but she also doesn't technically serve your kingdom. She chose to, but you know, honor bound and this and that and the other thing. But so she's playing it the correct way as she should. You can go ahead and roll a sense motive.
No. Sure. There you go.
You see her coming off as being hoity and not condescending, right? Because she's looking up, right? But as hoity and demanding. A child making demands of their parent. We've all experienced that. A child making demands of their parent, even though it's not necessarily their place. And the worst part is what she's about to demand fucking makes sense, which bothers you the most. When your child walks up to you and demands something that you're like, that makes sense, you want to say no because fuck you. But at the same time, it's like, ugh. So let me continue. That's the kind of tone you get off of her.
Yeah.
She says, I've been speaking to Mazzara a good bit, and we came to a conclusion. What I can learn from Densho has come to an end. I'm supposed to be learning how to talk and walk and to eat and shit, but it's kind of come to an end for what Densho can offer. Throne is an older clan, has much more to offer because they have more ties to the north and all the other stuff that I'm supposed to be learning. Besides, I spent enough time with your soldiers. I should learn how they fight. I spent enough time with your weapons. I should learn what they wield. And I have a friend that happens to be there too, and I'd like to go spend some time with her anyways. The point I'm trying to get to, Warlord, is I would like to request to be an ambassador, to stay at the Densho Noble Villa in Throne, to act on behalf of Densho, as you've trained me to do and as I'm supposed to do by the request and honor bound that I am. But do it in Throne, where I could probably get a much better education than here.
Well, if you truly believe Densho has nothing to more for you to learn, then you have not learned what we originally discussed. However, I think it would be a good idea for you to see how some other clans work. Don't forget, you're not only supposed to be learning how to speak or whatever it is you said. Remember, we spoke of how to find a medium, a way for both the old and the new to work together. That is what remains my focus, and what a few months here will not have taught you. But, like I said, I think you are right. I think you should go and spend some time in Throne. Being an ambassador and a part of and speaking for Densho matters there. I believe you would bode well. We have a lot of the same ideals and think the same way on many things. So go to Throne, learn what you can there, and when you're ready to continue with finding the way to bridge between the two peoples, the two different Kura, you may return and we can continue.
A good bit of what I'm supposed to be learning is based off what my mother wants and what my mother has taught me. As you know, she has a lot of investment and insight into everything that's going on right now. She has her plans, her schemes. We all have our part to play.
We do. And remember, leaders take the advice of their council, and then they decide for themselves.
She thinks about it for a moment, and she responds saying, then some advice.
Go on.
I told you about Rast. I told you what I saw. You remember, Jake?
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
dragon of
vaguely.
Rast.
Yeah.
So she says, Manmasu, you spent a lot of time with them, you found out a lot about them, and apparently what they're good at is finding out shit themselves. Even have a bit of a reputation for doing things without getting noticed. A couple of tricks I just used myself, based off what we learned about them, right? I suggest you use that to your advantage. Maybe you convince Rast to go in and convince Manmasu to go and see what they can find out about Rast. Maybe slow down some of their creations.
I will take that advice. I meet with
The Viper.
whatever his name is, the Viper. I meet with the Viper next month. I'll discuss it with him then.
So that's it. I'm free to go. No questions. Not worried about nothing.
Do I have something to be worried about?
She shrugs. As far as I can tell, you only got 2 enemies. I just set one of them on fire. The other one I intend to kill with my own bare hands.
Well, in supporting you, I take care of some of my problems, don't I?
She gives a smile, but it's like one of those, lasts for a couple of moments, and then it'll fade. She says, then I'll go to Throne. I'll spend time there. I'll figure out what I can about blending cultures.
Have fun.
She'll bow and she'll walk out. You can go ahead and make a perception check.
Right.
Well, she's from the Barren Lands, so I'll allow favor terrain to give you a +2 at that one. How's that sound? She mumbles under her breath, if this old man couldn't figure it out yet.
Right.
Which is accurate. You're you're old as fuck to her, and you're like, hey, can you find out how to blend cultures? Because like,
Well, that's what she originally spoke to me about, and that's why I was like, if you think you haven't learned it in a few months, you know what I mean? Like, I've been doing it for a while.
True.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. As for your events, let's tick these down nice and quick for you. Number 1, Mara. Tick down how long she's been gone.
Yep.
Okay. I think this makes month 4 out of 5, right?
Yes, it is month 4. I thought it was 6 months though.
Oh, it's supposed to be 6 months?
I think. If it's 5, she comes back next month. Otherwise, it's the same time the tax finishes. Not the tax, the proxy support.
Gotcha. I'm not sure. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 5. Okay, so next month will be the last month she's gone, meaning she comes back after that. All right, so that's still ticking. This one was, let's see, the hobgoblins.
Mm-hmm.
How did you want to hear? Handle that?
Yeah, we're gonna collapse the tunnel, you know. They were extremely rude. They're demanding, things that they have no right to demand. We're gonna Irithel suggests collapsing the tunnel in on their heads. So that's what we're gonna do.
Okay. So, let's see. Here. So you want to collapse the tunnels while they're inside them, I believe, right?
I think that was what the plan was.
Okay. Okay. Just trying to make sure I have details about them correct.
This wasn't originally, I don't think, on one of the solutions, but I used Irithel's ability, and that was one of the things he come up with.
Yeah. And it was if things went well, it could trap them in there or eliminate them. If it goes poorly, you have some powerful, angry people coming at you. You already handled Ruktar. It's not you. What do I feel like I'm missing? September. I feel like I'm missing September. There's June. Oh, because it doesn't matter anymore. That's why. Okay. It doesn't matter anymore. All right. So, plus 10 fireballs, necklace of fireballs. Oh, yeah. You're supposed to be using your mercenaries to help you with that one. Haha.
I have, not necessarily with that one, but I do have them to use with something. Oh, I do also get the Boomtown event. You're right, Joey. I don't know what that does, but work that out.
Why
later.
do you get the Boomtown event?
For completing the luxury store.
Oh, okay. Wasn't there a monastery you're supposed to build or a thing you're supposed to build in one of your other towns?
Nope.
In your new town, weren't you supposed to build something, or was that still just underway?
No. I'm not. I don't have any like requirements. No one's asked for anything.
So, what is this one here? Courtesan still needs to be played out. That is done. This is the hobgoblins we just talked about. That's all done. Just making sure I'm good here. Cool. All right, so we're good. It's literally comes down to the hobgoblins, her being gone, and the hobgoblins are the only ones that we have to worry about before your random event, I think. I might be missing one, which I'll double check one more time in a second, but I'm pretty sure. Cool. All right, that's good news. So this is going to be a very, very difficult thing for you to do. Who is it that you are having take care of this?
Irithel.
Which makes sense. It's his idea.
I burned the power on this. It can't be ridiculously difficult here, Scott.
No. He's giving you a suggestion to not have to give up any of your buildings, not have to cowtail to anybody in the region, to and to show strength to those around you, so on and so forth. But to be frank with you, these are not low-level characters. These are people who literally, like, if they hunt down wyverns, you're not level 3, right? And there's not one.
So
what
are we talking about here then?
How many of them were there? Was it a dozen of them? Did I say? Or 13 of them or something like that? I'm trying to remember how many of them there were.
I'm not sure.
It was actually I have it written right here. Compared to young.
Joey's saying 20.
It may have been a score. But yeah, they are not wimpy people by any stretch of the imagination. So this is a difficult task for you. That's an Order of the Eternal Guard. That's right. Okay, so Order of the Eternal Guard.
What's the thing?
Yeah. So you're just trying to collapse a thing on them. So if you were just trying to handle it normally, I would say this is staggering. That's a 29. That is a very difficult check. Irithel rolls with a base 11. The quartz obviously doesn't help him with this one. Imposter syndrome doesn't hurt him in this one. But underestimated is always a fun one. It's a special trait, so that'll play out to, no matter how it rolls. That'll be a fun thing in here. This is definitely going to be a stability check. because you were literally just trying to keep the area stable. So that works in your favor. You get a +6 from stability. So against a 29, you're already rolling with a 17, which is good news. You wanted to use those adventurers to assist you. How much did they offer you for a bonus?
+10.
You had it written down somewhere. Was it a one-time +10 for free?
Yep.
Okay. So your 17 just became a +27.
Yep.
And that's against a DC of 29. And you don't automatically fail on a 1. You would just have to luck die it. Because 27 plus 1 is 28. With a luck die, you automatically succeed. So you literally just made it so you can't fail as long as you luck die. It's just a question as to whether or not you're going to critically succeed. So you can't fail. That is great news.
Yeah, that is
So-
great news.
Yeah. So,
All right.
again, if you were to try to face them, like outright, you wouldn't be able to just do a simple check like this. Like most of the ways you had to handle it, you would have to concede lands, concede an area, concede control. People would think X, Y, or Z about it, or you would have to actively fight them as PCs versus their characters, which could be a rough battle. Or you'd have to send an army after them, which again, you could lose armies for that and it would cost you a lot of money. By using Irithel's suggestion, you're literally bringing it down to 1 die roll. And Irithel even suggested using this ability, this gnome with the fireballs or whatever, right? So because of that, you're down to you can't fail. That's what Irithel brought to you as his suggestion, right? And that's, again, I don't know if we've ever seen staggering before. Staggering's a 29, and you can't fail. So again, great suggestion by Irithel. Did you want to be obnoxious and use friends in high places? Is that an ability he still has? Just to
He
try to
does
make
have that, yeah.
just to make it more likely to critically succeed, or are you just like, no, the odds are in the favor for a critical?
Even if it's not success, is success. So critical success would be great, but I mean, burning him out completely is nah.
I mean, it's a
maybe
powerful
other-
group, so it's up to you.
Um,
It's entirely. I'm not trying to convince you one way or the other. My apologies if I'm trying to sound leaning.
no,
I'm
you're
just
good.
throwing all the details out there. You're already going to succeed. It's just how easy to critically succeed. So. Oh, he's probably talking to one of the kiddos.
Yeah, sorry, my daughter's homesick.
No, you're good, man. Tomorrow's Rory's
whoops.
first day of school, so I have to get up at fuck you o'clock. This morning we got up at the time we're supposed to get her ready for school, and we went out to breakfast instead. So just to like give her like a nice little, like, okay, remember this is how early you're getting up tomorrow. We did not totally get out of bed. We totally lied in bed. She came over and just like chilled with us for a little bit, and then eventually we rolled out and went and got breakfast together. So, which is nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Anyways, go ahead, sir.
All right, we're just gonna roll it. So it's a +27.
+27 against a DC of 29. I'm curious how this plays out. And did Brittany ever plug in the car? I bet she didn't. Checking right now. Should probably run upstairs and plug it in.
All right, I'm gonna roll it.
Yep, you're good, sir.
Ooh, 29.
So you exactly, so you don't critically succeed, you just
No.
succeed. Okay.
I do.
So just to let you know the difference between a critical success and a success. Success means
Yep.
you succeeded. They are no longer a problem. It is solved, so on and so forth. Yeah, she never plugged it in, goddammit. I plugged it in, waiting for like the time for it to kick in. She went to the store, came back, and didn't click it before she left the garage. You just gotta go click. Anyways, critically success would have meant as though you defeated an army. So you'd have gotten all the laureates of defeating an army of their ACR. So you would have been able to pick their bodies for items of value, which would add BP to the kingdom, as well as like fame and whatnot. So yay.
It would
But
have been
you
good, but
succeeded.
listen. All right, listen.
Hey,
Yeah, I had a what's it called? A Winifred's Wisdom, but I'm saving
Ooh,
that for
I
the
forgot about that.
the assassination. All right, I want to eat it. Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
So to be clear, Norway, most children do not start at the same time Rory does. Nick, when does Emma start school? What time?
We drop off at 7:30.
At 7:30 is drop off, and school starts at what time?
I think that's 7:50.
And she's middle school now?
Yes.
And what time did it start when she was still in elementary school? Do you remember? 9, I think?
We had to drop off at 8, and they started at 8:20.
At 8:20, yeah. So Rory starts at his class starts at 8:35, so a couple minutes before Nick's. And then Nick, what time does Emma get out of school?
Well, her school ends at 2:30, but she does after school stuff.
Yeah, of course, whatever. Yeah, so and then when she was younger, that probably ended a little bit earlier too, and then after school stuff. Rory's ends at 2:45. So, but you have to understand that one of the reasons why our school times, start and end times, are when they are is because America is a culture of workers. Like, we're a workforce culture. That's like the average person having to work a full day's work is built into how our whole society functions. So you'll hear this often. If you can't go to a family event because you're working, that's not something that's frowned upon or considered as rude. That's actually considered a perfectly acceptable excuse because people work for a living. It's a noble thing. Kids' school times, you need to have drop-offs be early enough that it doesn't interfere with what time you have to be in work. But unfortunately, you can't keep the kids in school all day, right? So if teachers need to go home and shit like that, they can only learn for so long. So then they have after-school programs built into it that either they're free or you pay for to keep it so the kid can be there until you get home from work, right? The idea of a single parent being home all day is borderline non-existent for what, 40 years now? 30
Oh,
years
yeah,
now?
definitely.
Yeah, 40
You're
years
right.
ago. 80s, yeah.
And then those
40s.
early start times, right? Like what time do you actually have to get up? You get up around 6 o'clock now. So now I have to get my 10-year-old up at 6 o'clock.
Rory's pretty good about getting ready really quickly. So, and we're really close. I don't know how far you drive. I'm not sure what school you go to, and definitely don't say it, don't lie. But we only drive 15 minutes. So, Brittany, I think, gets her up at, I think, 6:45. And because she doesn't pick an outfit, right? She's a uniform. So her uniform is already put aside. So she'll get up, she'll get ready, she'll have her breakfast, she'll leave. It's 15 minutes to get there. So it's not that bad. I imagine, does Emma pick out her clothes in the morning or the night beforehand?
We attempt to do it the night before, but there's usually an audible in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, that's, as somebody with ADHD, like, I mean, not that Emma has ADHD, but she's a child, right?
She does.
Children. Oh, she does. So, children and people with ADHD, or especially children with ADHD, literally picking out your outfit is one of the most difficult things. It's actually like a thing, which is one of the reasons why almost all my clothes are shit. Like, literally the shirt has stains on it from like when I painted years ago. It's one of the reasons why almost all my clothes are shit. It's because I don't care what I wear. I just put something on that is the correct, like, hot or cold, and then call it a day. It all looks like crap anyways. But if you're somebody who cares about what you look like, your brain goes. There's actually a whole podcast about this that Peter Shankman did a long time ago on his Faster Than Normal podcast about ADHD, and like how like it impacts your entire day just picking out your outfit.
So
all my clothes
Emma doesn't care. So that's the problem. Emma doesn't care, but I'm like, you're a 10-year-old going into middle school. I have to make sure that you are presentable, so you don't get tortured by the little demons that you're surrounded with. So
that's the worst. Like elementary school kids have their downs, but for the most part, they're cute as hell. High school kids have their downs, but they're becoming adults. You know, they are getting their first job around sophomore year and whatnot. They're starting to taste responsibility. Middle school.
Oh, yeah.
Middle school kids. I am not looking forward to it, Nick. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hey, Jake, how's middle school kids?
Yeah, you know.
What grade is Melody in?
Melody's in year 3.
So what we would call third grade. She's kindergarten, then year 3.
Kindergarten, year 1, year 2, year 3. Yeah.
Okay, so same as us, yeah. So she's third grade, yeah. Emma is 5th grade?
Correct.
and Rory's first. Wow, that is
Your
quite the
your
spread
schools
there,
are
huh?
split up though. See, ours is like K to 6 and then 7 to 12.
There are schools here that do that same thing. That all depends on what state you're in, or even what county
okay.
or what town you're in. But the where we happen to live, it goes K to 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 12.
Okay, yeah.
And for Rory's specific school, they have 3 different buildings all on one. We'll call it campus. That break it up that way. And one of the things that they do is like the middle schoolers act as mentors for the elementary school, and the high schoolers act as mentors for the middle school. So it's very like it's kind of like feeding itself on like how to give and receive leadership. So it's but I think the breakup is decent. So I've literally was at a birthday party recently, Nick, with Brittany's boss. Their kid turned 1, and her father is a teacher, and her best friend is a teacher at different schools, different whatever. And they were actually arguing that they think that 5th grade should be a part of elementary school, because 5th grade, while they could potentially be bad for 1st graders and maybe 2nd graders, that 8th graders are devastating for 5th graders.
Yes.
Like,
they actually, Patricia Emma's middle school, so 5th and 6th, are kept completely away from 7th and 8th. They're on different levels of the building. They do not cross paths. So,
oh wait, hold on. I think I know what school she goes to, and if so, I think I know why. Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. So anyways, either way, yeah, that's important, because again, 5th grade is that weird year where they're still kind of kids and not quite demons yet. They could be either way. But yeah, 8th graders are awful. So, I mean, you just open a news article about what 8th graders are doing, and you don't want that near your 5th grader, you know? You don't need your 5th grader hearing jokes or stories or rumors or seeing written on bathroom walls. You don't need that, you know? So, either way. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, rural schools are different too. And in rural schools, you know, by kindergarten, you're, birthing calves, and by high school, well, it's high school, so.
well, and what is it? Ohio that has pregnant 10-year-olds. So, yeah.
I mean, I can't say anything. I graduated from high school, and from a high school that has a decent rating and decent rated school system. I never got a college degree. Nick dropped out in 10th grade from a school that didn't have a good, gets his GED, gets a college degree, and like is crushing it. So I mean, like, the system isn't necessarily everything. It's also the individual. So, but all right, cool.
In my defense, I did not drop out. I was asked to leave.
It was actually very nicely. They offered him tea and crackers.
Yeah.
So, well, wasn't it one of those things where it's like, if you didn't choose to, most likely it would have gone paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just took me off the attendance roster and said, don't come back. So,
yeah. But at least, but it wasn't on your record that it was
No.
An expulsion, because an expulsion can be devastating for your future. So
yeah,
it actually can be hard to get a GED, to get like a night school or whatever to accept you if you've been expelled. So, but anyways, funny enough, actually, my mom had to quit school when she was, I think, 15 or 16. She stopped going to school. When I was in high school, my mom went to night school and got a GED. And then after that, she went back and got a college degree. My mom has a college degree without ever going to high school. I don't have one. My mom hasn't worked in 17 years? She barely even used her college. She just kind of got one to be like, Scott, I'm better than you.
Just a flex.
Yeah, seriously. So like, that's nice. Stop with you bitching. I get ADHD too.
Yeah, I cheated though. I boosted up to rural Vermont to get my GED. So I basically just signed a paper and got a piece of paper.
You boosted up what? I didn't hear that.
I went up to rural Vermont and I got my GED there because they would let me get it before I was 18. So
Yeah. Because it was like different rules or whatever. Yeah. Well, you also got your your welding license and shit like that really young too. So I remember when I was still in school, you were making like $25 an hour. minimum wage was like $6.25 or $6.75. You're making $25 an hour, and I'm like, so I want to play D&D after school today, and
Yeah, and that's in boomer dollars, so they were worth something.
yeah, right, yeah. When I was your age. Oh,
That is almost 20 years ago, Scott.
I know. Listen, it was 18 years ago. I was half my age ago. I graduated high school. I'm aware. So, actually, more than now because of the months. Right? It was 18 years, and it was literally half my age ago. So, ouch. Moving on. Okay. Sorry, Jake, that you had to listen to all that.
No, you're good. Just depressing me to think how old I'm getting.
Well, yeah. Did you ever get a college degree or no?
No.
No. Did you graduate? We're gonna call it primary school.
No, I did my high school and then I went straight to like an apprenticeship.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Same idea as what Nick did, but with a GED, and then got it. I assume you guys have a GED like program out there too. Do you know what a GED is?
What is GED?
I'll let Nick describe. He obviously can do better than me.
It's just a certificate of general education. It basically, in my opinion, it's like 8th grade level.
Is that what you would get like on completion of high school? Is that what it is?
The equivalent.
But less. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I did my year 12. So I got we just called it year 12 certificate, and then you get a mark on the certificate, which then you can apply to whatever uni for whatever course you want to go to.
Gotcha. So here, when you graduate high school, you get something called a high school diploma. Nobody really gives a shit about your transcripts for a diploma unless you're applying for college. Very, very, very few jobs, if it's your first time applying for a job, would ask for that stuff. I don't even know if it's legal, but back in the day, sometimes they would. If it was your first job you're applying for. A GED, for the sake of going to college and all that stuff, is air quotes the equivalent. But like if you were applying for a job and somebody would see on your resume GED versus high school diploma, you were immediately assumed to be dumber because you couldn't get your you couldn't get that. Mind you, there's 1,010,000,000 other factors involved. And again, case in point with Nick, got his GED when he was still a teenager. Just the school vibe didn't really work with how his brain functioned at that age. Gets a degree and is doing well, right? Like it goes to prove that you can't judge a book by a piece of paper, you know? So, but, oh well.
I just like to think I became a better con artist as I got older.
Well, Sam's still buying it, so we'll call it a win, I guess, right?
That's my retirement package.
Oh, nice. All right. So, where were we? Speaking of retirement package, sorry. One last side note. Dave, Brittany's father, just had his old company call him. He's only been gone for what, 6, not even 8 weeks. And they already called him and said, so how much are you willing to come back and do for consultation work? Like, can we start talking about this? And his answer is straight up no, but he's walking the path. Like, let's see what they offer. And let me tell them no, and then let's see what they offer. And then I tell them no again, let's see what they offer. And then probably still a no, but I just want to see what they offer, right? So, but I'm telling him anything more than 15 hours a week, tell them to, go fuck themselves. It's not, he was miserable there, so. But anyways, all right, cool. Where were we? Jake.
You
did not critically succeed. You succeeded.
No,
Yes.
I can't pick their bodies, unfortunately.
Yeah, so more or less that whole ruins is collapsed in on their bodies. They are dead. They are gone. They are destroyed. They are no longer here. The funny thing is that was technically an opportunity event as opposed to like an actual danger event. That was like something great could have come out of that if it was played correctly. But obviously it's felt imposing as it was meant to, right? Because of how
Yeah, well, it's
self-confident they
just
were?
the way they deal. Yeah, the way they dealt with Varys from the start. I wanted to deal with them, but it just doesn't make sense. The way they came on, it just I can't justify it.
No, yeah. I'm not disputing your choice. I actually think it was a brilliant choice. It was an opportunity event, and you technically succeeded it, just in not the way that any of us anticipated. So none of the planned rewards would make sense here. So I want to know how for me to give you the appropriate reward, how would you go about this afterwards? Would you want to 100% want to keep this hush hush, like nobody knows this ever happens? Or would you want to tout this to, like, how does Varix go about Irithel being like, Warlord, it's done. And it's done.
I think Irithel will. We won't more or less leak what happened, but people are aware of what they were asking for, right? They were more or less walking around stating their claim to some area. They crossed
They were not
Varix
quiet
and
because they had
and
every legal
yeah.
right. So
well, look, without us even saying anything, they crossed Varix and vanished. You know what I mean? They demanded something of Clan Densho of their own land, and now they're gone, never to be heard from again.
Which is funny because most people that come into your region and they're like, "Hey, we're looking for a place to stay." You're like, "Pull up a bed. I got space. Let's go, gobos and whatnot." But the fact that you took goblins in before hobgoblins, I mean that says something. It's clearly not an aspect. It's not like your character's like racially closed-minded by any stretch. It's just because of that. Yeah. But so Joey's over here talking about the ruins. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, but the obelisk ruins and the ruins where you had them killed are two different locations. Where you had them killed were the ruins inside of Kabe, which was like where you're eventually building your Colossus, and the obelisk was not there. Correct?
I think the obelisk is there. I think that it was something that was. Well, we found the ruins first, and then I had like an advisor thing or something, and they worked out that it could be made into this thing. I think. I'm not 100% sure.
He said the Colossus is the obelisk. I don't know if Joey knows that there is no Colossus yet. When the Colossus is built, it won't be an obelisk. The Colossus will be a statue, kind of like the Colossus of Rhodes, but it'll be like a Varix standing there nude in like a Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of pose.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So the obelisk was not functionally the Colossus because there is no Colossus. Yeah. So you guys are unfortunately mistaken. Because like the Colossus to be built here, there is no Colossus. This is, yeah. So, I'm not sure. I genuinely don't know what they're referring to. Because there is no Colossus anywhere.
I don't remember. It's something that happened a very long time ago. I'd have to go back and look at the VOD.
And I know that the obelisk isn't the Colossus as well, because you explicitly have said you're going to. Well, I explicitly asked and you coyly answered, but said the Colossus will be a Varix. It'll be a statue of Varix, so it won't be anything to do with an obelisk that's there. The obelisk, I'm pretty sure, was at a different location because you had to send your advisor to go and investigate it. I believe what you ended up doing was you built another improvement where the obelisk was. So like where one of your watchtowers are, or something like that, was where it was. I don't think it was actually in Kabe.
I honestly don't remember. It's something that happened, I think, over a year ago. Let me look at it. I mean, it could well be that. If they're saying it is, it may be. I don't remember.
I'll look real quick.
Apparently Steve made the events, so it might be in events.
Well, there's an event special densho called a Fallen Monolith from September of last year. So that's likely the event that he's referring to. Everybody handles their events a little bit differently. Steve, once the event is completed, he collapses it into what month it transpired and a sum up of what it was, usually in a handful of words to keep it clean. Some people cross them off, some people delete them entirely. It's whatever works best for the individual. So all it says is September, a special den show, a fallen monolith, September 21 is all it was. But either way, so even if that's where the obelisk was, what were you saying? So you more or less you are letting people know that you are Big Boss Cheese Man.
I mean,
that
it's
you're
like I
awesome.
said, it's something that doesn't really even need to, like, for Varix or anyone to come out and say. Maybe Irithel lets a few whispers go, but I mean, these people were more or less demanding land, and then they're gone. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So
Yeah. So that being said, what I would do, what I would do, hi Bombway, is let's give you a +2 to your loyalty. It's a
sounds good to
permanent
me.
event. Yeah, permanent event. So 5 becomes a 7. All right, cool. Let's move on. That's funny. We chatted about other stuff for so long. I lost track of where we were. So that ends out that one. All this other stuff is gone. Nothing to even talk about here. That's done. This one over here is completely done. So there's nothing to do here because there is Magic Swindlers gave you that +10 that you used. August special. No. Okay, yep, you're done there. So we need nothing there. Now let's go over here. You literally have just your random event. Unless I'm missing something, Jake, you literally have your random event that we get to move over to Nick.
Yep. All right. So get
25%. That's not even that high. Oh,
Yeah, 1 to
Boomtown.
25.
Boomtown.
Oh yeah, we do have that.
Yeah, we have to do
does
Boomtown
that-
because
what
if
does that
you're
Do
I'm loading it up right now because you
Yeah.
completed the thing that you're supposed to.
yeah, that's right.
So Boomtown
So if you want to
is
roll as well, 1 to 25
randomly
is an
select
event.
one settlement. We already did it. We already know which one it is because you built your thing. Commerce booms in that settlement until the end of the next event phase. Economy increases by the number of buildings in the settlement. And corruption increases by 1d4. By the number of buildings. How many buildings in your settlement offer an economy bonus? This actually could affect how much BP you have in your bank right now. We actually screwed this up. So this is definitely Kabe. Let's count it out. Economy. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 buildings offer that for you. 14 buildings offer that for you. Center of power doesn't count. You don't like get extra for a higher number. It's just the number of buildings. So your economy goes up by 14. That means that would have happened before you rolled for your taxes. So you actually should have 7 more BP right now.
7 more.
Yep.
Oof, nice.
Because you have crushing taxes,
Yeah.
right? Which is times 0.2, or is it times 0.25?
It's 2.
Oh, sorry, divided by, not times. Divided by 2,
Yeah.
right?
What about 2?
Okay, if it's divided by 2,
nice.
then yeah.
All right,
And
we're
what
ready
did
to
you
go
tell Steve you had to roll?
Next one. I said 1 to 25 was an event.
Okay, cool. Well, 79.98. I don't know who was supposed to roll. 79.98. No event, so you go up to 75%. You are absolutely crushing on the money front. You're going in with 70 on your treasury. So that's cool because Boomtown is going to compensate for the extra consumption that you're going to have to pay. And unfortunately, you can't roll a stability check to get a little extra BP. So that covers for all of that. And I think this concludes this round for you. Does that sound right?
It does. Yes.
All right, cool. Nick, he actually got through it in only 2.5 hours. And that was including a half hour of combination of starting late, bullshitting at the beginning, bullshitting in the middle there. Like that was, he did in 2 hours. It's pretty solid, right?
Yeah.
All right. I am very happy about that. All right, cool. Now we have to move on to Nick's next one. So Nick, right before I jump onto you, Jake, as a reminder for you what your next turn to be. Your next turn is going to take place after you heard everything about what Cell did and so on and so forth. Your next turn actually takes place after what Nick's about to do, so that's going to be a factor. You want to remember that you want to do a festival edict, so kind of plan that in your minds, leave a note, whatever it is, the cost or whatever. For your whatchamacallits, you wanted to look into the cost of upkeep and whatnot of a endowment edict for your centers of power to see if those would help you out in any way. Were you building any more armies or raising any more armies?
Possibly.
It's a maybe.
Yeah.
So if you're building any more armies, kind of plan that out accordingly. Don't forget that it also is going to increase your consumption. And were there any espionage edicts that you wanted to take care of against any kingdoms? Kind of plan that all out. That way your next turn can be nice and quick too, okay?
Yep, will do.
All right. And I think Mara is finally complete next turn, which is nice. So the round after that, she comes back in during the leadership and you can figure that out on your own. All right. Hi, Dick. How you doing?
I'm awake.
All right. Well, I'll call that a win, right?
Yeah.
So I don't remember what big details we need to do for yours. What I do know is we just need to start with the basic shit, right? So with that being said, let's just jump. Oh, I don't have your sheet open. If you'll excuse me for just one moment, sir. Ushibashi. Grab this. Come over here. Where are you? You? Yeah. Cool. Bring it back. Cool. Ushibashi. Awesome. So now that we are there, let's kind of get things started. You only have 22 in the treasury. We'll get things started for you. I believe last time we had a couple of FFs affected your army building, correct? And that went exceedingly well for you?
That was the time before last, I believe, but yes.
Okay, cool. And you just got, how many of those hype trains went to you and how many went to whoever else?
So I got one, Jacob.
Okay, and are you automatically focusing that on your druid?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you have a level 4 druid, and that druid, just this part I have to remind you of, they came from, this was your lady friend's, what's her name, went into the woods to more or less complete her understanding training, what have you. You had to make like 1 billion checks. You had to lose advisors for a period of time. I think you used Get It Done to accomplish it. So is this something that should have been, please?
I want to say, to make this happen, at least 1 Winnie's, a Get It Done. There was another one, I think Friends in High Places or something like that from Conscrete. So I used like 3 or 4 abilities to get this done.
Yeah. So it's not like all of a sudden we blinked our eyes and there's a druid that showed up. Like there was a considerable amount of like in-game asset, the assets poured into making this happen. Sorry, out-of-game assets and in-game assets poured into making this happen. To make it work. Out of game being the abilities, in game losing the advisors for a time, and the various checks that you had to do, and it was a crit. Cool. So that is that is a pretty awesome like turnout, right? So, and with her being level 4, is she like a base druid, I assume? Because being non-vanilla, I imagine it'd have to be something that kind of like focuses on forests or whatever.
I'll have to look and
At like archetypes.
yeah. So
I mean, you don't need like
when I say-
min-max.
I was gonna say when I have to look, Joey.
Oh. Well, you don't need to like
No,
min-max
I
or
can-
anything like that, right? It's
No.
it's more a matter of making them feel like they came out of the forests. That's what
Yes.
matters. To make it
Yes.
feel like they came out
Yeah.
of the forests.
We got to make an actual like tribal druid.
Yeah. Which would make sense. So either way, if she were a vanilla druid, there's an ancient guardian, that could be a cool one. I have no idea what it does. But if she
Yeah.
were a vanilla druid, this is the level where she would have learned wild shape. So the idea that somebody can literally transform into another animal is pretty like holy shit. Resist nature's lore, wood and stride, trackless step. These are all like pretty amazing abilities to have as a person that can travel through that forest. That's already ridiculously helpful. All right, let's get back into the game. So you are going to go ahead and roll first your stability. This is not failable for you. You guys kingdoms are finally getting built to the point where like things are getting significantly easier beyond like the outside factors. So you can go ahead and roll me with your plus 70. Oh, wrong clan. With your plus 74 against a 53. Oh, well, good news is you got that out of the way now, right? This is one of the reasons why we still roll these. It helps you with the chances. With that out of the way, it counts as a 65, which still beats your target DC by 12. You're safe. You're good to go.
Just set
Hopefully-
the tone here.
No. I think you set the tone by getting it out of the way when it doesn't matter. This is a good
Yeah.
thing, right? I mean, I'm not sure what a reincarnation druid is, but she's never been reincarnated, if that is a factor. But anyways, moving on. And Nick, next up was going to be, after that is your, where were we? Upkeep phase. Why did you just not go where I needed? All right. Is going to be paying consumption, which your consumption right now is a whopping 3. Why is it still so high? Is it just because you keep expanding?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I just
'cause you're
expanded.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you built a district recently too.
Yes.
So pay your 3 consumption. I think that drops you down to like 19 in your treasure, which is so small. Unfortunately. Okay. All right. Next up is going to be your vacant magic item slots. Go into I gotta move you guys over. So go into Kushibashi on this one. Shinrin, do you have any opening spots?
Yes.
Yeah, you have a ring, wand, and an enemy. Ask somebody to roll a d20. A d100, sorry.
Green, roll a d20
D100.
or d100. Sorry.
Cool. So if he rolls a 51 or higher, green, you can roll it through if you roll a 51 or higher. So just wait 5 seconds, type something in between. Cool. So type anything in between, and then go ahead and roll it again. Let me pull up the chart. I need this for this. Oh, a 92. That's good news. That means it's going to be other. Wow, 92 means other. So it's not. So that means it's going to be like a ring or a wand. Okay, cool. Not necessarily a wondrous item. So what's your base value here? Please tell me it's high enough. 2,000. Give me 1 second. All right,
Is that
green.
base value still accurate? I think
It should be. Go ahead and roll me your D1.
You did. It's a 40.
Oh, my apologies. I didn't see that. Ooh, Nick, that's a good one. It's base, it's simple, and it's exactly 2,000 gold pieces. Ring of Protection +1.
Wow. Classic.
Yeah. Ring of Prot +1. Cool. That's actually something worth burning a BP to get 2,000 gold pieces to buy. Like that's +1 deflection bonus AC. That's pretty cool. Also, it could be a nice thing to buy for someone else. Did you and Karzug ever officially get wed?
I gave her the circlet. Yes.
Oh,
Um,
that's right.
But my will is atrocious, so I will take that.
Your will is atrocious?
Oh no, is it just +1 to AC? Or, it's +1 to AC?
Yeah. You're thinking of 5e, where it
Yeah.
saves as well. Yeah. It's just AC. So we can worry about whether or not you buy that at the end, because that's going to be under taxes unless you already have that coin in your pocket, you know?
Gotcha.
So, cool. After that is going to be Modify Unrest. Do you even have any Unrest? Nope. So, you're good. You don't have to roll that for anything, right? Nope. You're good. Okay, this is your last month with your temporary economy modifier. So that's good news. We can drop it back down after this month. Now we're going to go into the edict phase. Is this sign leadership? This is when you're making your changes to like the various leaders in your clan. This is where I have to ask you, Nick, the official answer to the question. Who snuggled up next to a campfire or the fireplace and read a really good novel? Did he freeze?
No, I just have no idea what you're talking.
Oh my God, he was so still. I was like, he's like, I'm not answering that question. You say you don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
No? Okay, he who's reading the Tome of Charisma?
Oh, right. So we need Xylemos to roll for it. That is the
Xyle here?
no. Xylemos isn't here yet. But basically, the vote in chat came to a tie. So then I said, it's their FF, so they got to roll.
Cool. Give me 1 second. I just pinged them to see if they show up. To see if I can get a D20 roll result. Let's move on. Claim and abandon hexes. Are there any hexes you intended to claim?
Yes.
And don't forget about improvements as well. So which hexes did you want to claim? They cost, 1 each?
I need the
And
center
the
of the
area
lake.
was, my apologies.
The center of the new pond.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that whole situation. Yeah. This Kappa. Oh, can't do that one. Right here. So I got to clickety clackety, Kappa and pasta, and get rid of the little farm on it. Obviously, there's no the farm on there. And then under Kushibashi, we have to add 1 to, you put it in deep water, which is fine. Yep, great. Cool. And you can, of course, just so you know, that is considered a resource. Having that. So if you establish fishing there, that is beneficial for you. Give me 1 second to tell you how that works out.
I thought I.
Oh wait! Oh no! That's right. You had to do something else with that, didn't you?
I have to build a province with a temple.
Yeah, that's right. So the way that we were doing the temple was because you kind of had that creature appeared, and you wanted to build a temple to appease the creature because it could potentially be very beneficial. Like in theory, it could actually even help to regenerate, injured people, so on and so forth, as long as it's satisfied. Now, the Hafue told you they'd be willing to help you, but what was your investment going into it?
It was the temple. We have to build the temple, and then
Okay.
they will.
I believe it's actually a shrine. Temple would be
Or
difficult to do. I think you have to be a whole settlement, whereas a shrine, you can
Gotcha.
just pay for the shrine. Yeah. So that being said, a shrine is 4 BP a month for 2 months.
All right.
So you can go ahead and start building that there. I want to impact that in a different way. How am I gonna, what image am I gonna put on here for the temple? I guess a layer image. Let's put a layer image on there. That'd be fun. Since to make it stand out. Cool. And we know that there's 1 more month left to finish constructing it. Okay, cool. So you're paying the 4 BP. You plus the 1 to claim that area. That's 5 BP. What other hexes do you want to claim or terrain improvements you want to start?
Um,
Or is it nothing because you pressed on
I forget.
taxes?
What's the cost to build a city? Well,
A new settlement?
Yeah.
I think it's just the cost to prepare is the same cost to build, right? To actually establish it. Or no, my apologies. Yeah. To open a new district is just the same cost as preparation. So
Yeah.
if it's plains, it's 1. If it's forest, it's more than 1. I'll look in 2 seconds for you. And then it's just the cost of whatever buildings you're putting inside there.
So I would like to start on my forest city. So
Cool. So on that one, you currently have what, a fort there?
Yeah.
Give me half a tick. I want to double check something for you. I want to get you the correct details about that. So fort. So fort is +2 stability, +4 defense, increases consumption by 1. Unrest decreases by 1 when completed. If the hex becomes a settlement, this improvement counts as 1 barracks and 1 stables building. But if I remember correctly, 1 stables and 1 barracks. Barracks costs 6, stables cost 10. So I believe it stays as a fort as an improvement, but it also becomes your barracks and stable as well, effectively for free, because you more or less expanded it later on. I believe that's how it works. Otherwise, you shelled out an extra 8 BP for nothing. And it's quicker to build it the other way too. Building a fort actually takes longer and whatnot, so it costs more and it takes longer, which is why you get the double benefit for doing it that way. It's because it's slower and you get rewarded for it. So that being said, going back to where we were, terrain improvements. To turn it into a... It costs 4 BP to turn it into a settlement.
Right. Let's do it.
Okay. So you shell out the 4 BP and it becomes a settlement and we open up a new district inside Kushibashi. So Kushibashi currently has what, 2 towns? Shinrin and Shinrotar?
Correct.
Now, are you going to Jake this situation or are you actually going to name your 3rd town?
I'll name it.
Oh, look at that. Somebody takes pride in their 3rd town. It's just so unusual for us. What's its name going to be?
I had a few. I will probably lock it down by next session.
Oh, so we're going to call it Lock It Down. Will be what it's going to be called for now. So Town 3. And which of the 4 districts do you want grabbed? Top or bottom, left or right?
Top, bottom. We'll go with right.
And top or bottom?
Top.
Okay. So typical district, top right is going to be where we start. That's fine. So let's grab these. Boom. 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 Copy. Paste. Paste. Cool. Well, can we collapse this bottom one? I thought we could collapse it. Apparently town 3 doesn't like the workforce as easily. That's fine. Not the end of the world. We have to delete these mods. Boom, 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 boom. Delete these. Delete here. You automatically have a stable and a barracks inside there. Where do you want those to be?
That's a good question. Why don't we just put them in the top right corner for now?
Okay. And before we finish this out, do they have to be built next to anything?
That's a good question. Barracks does not.
Yep, does not. And stable does not either. Oh, yeah, adjacent to one house, which when you build a place, you're going to want to build a house at the same time anyways. So, you're going to go ahead and build a house, a mansion, or a noble villa. I assume a house. It's the cheapest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So you said put both in the top right-hand corner?
Yep.
Are they both one lot size? I just fucked that up. I feel like a stable is 2.
Yeah. No, they're both one lot, I believe.
You are correct. So you said they're going to be top right-hand corner. Let me just go over here to
Yep.
check and see what I'm doing. So we're going to do, let's say, stable on the outside. So STP and barracks. And then this will be a house. Let's start it like that. So we have a house down here as well. House. And so that automatically increases your economy and loyalty, as well as your law and your defense, which is nice. Which is nice and good. And you probably can't afford it because you just shelled out a ton of loot just now. But 2 more lots, and that's no longer a thorp. It actually becomes a town. But like I said, you probably can't afford that, can you?
No.
No? What are you looking?
No, I can't.
Oh, okay. How much are the is the expensive building? The one that obviously you have your eyes set on because it's going to become a moneymaker for you. What the hell's it called?
The lumberyard.
Lumberyard, yeah. It's 12. Oh my god, it's only 12. What kind of settlement do you have to put it in though?
Or stockyard. Yeah.
L for lumberyard. Village, cool. So village, we said Thorpe and village count the same. It's towns and cities that are the limiting fact. So you could actually start. I know I'm like pushing you here, but that would A, turn into a village immediately, and B, which has its small benefits, and B, help you out for the sake of money pulling in. Your lumber yard would cost you 6 BP for 2 months. Could you shell out 6 BP?
I cannot.
We're probably
It'll have to
ending
wait.
before Nick ends Summon Snake because I have to get up. Well, we both have to get up early tomorrow to take our kids to school. So, what were we saying, sir?
I gotta shell out 6 BP to finish my area this month, and I won't be
Oh.
able to.
We can actually decide that now. You can actually finish the air. Oop, he's back. Let me get rid of that. We can actually get rid of the. We can make that decision after we do the other shit. So, you're not building anything in Shinrotar, are you?
Nope.
Okay. Shinrin, you shout 6 BP to finish this one. So, make sure you remove that from your, whatchamacallit. Nothing else is being built here. Why does courthouse say 4-3? That's because you haven't started it yet. That was just the cost there. That's right. Same with your baths. So I don't think we added area yet. We did not. That increases your stability and your defense, which is nice. Population by a bit. Okay. Anything else that you were building or starting to build?
No, I think that was it.
And Shinrin has water next to it, right?
Yes.
No, Shinrotar has
Shinrotar,
water next to it.
yes.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Shinrin doesn't yet. You were thinking about building a canal over so you can have your... Even a note says build canals heal. That's right. Your treasury's down to 5, Bubby. Were you doing anything with the armies or improvements or whatnot? Or did you want to... Actually, if you only have 5, you can't even start building the lumberyard yet, can you? Ouch.
No.
That sucks.
And I still got to recruit a few more soldiers. So
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to exactly in order here. No more terrain improvements, which means you're not paying for any canals right now, which stinks because I know you wanted that soon. No more improvements or anything like that. For armies, you only have 5 BP left. How much did you want to invest into? How many soldiers did you need to gather?
3, and I'm recruiting elites.
You just needed 3? Okay. You just got to do barracks, baby.
Oh yeah, that ups that.
It does. By the way, Britt and I have an understanding. I mean, barring extenuating circumstances, I will be the one getting up on Mondays to bring Rory to school. On Mondays and Fridays, I bring Rory to school. She does it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because there's no way I can do it on Wednesday. I'm live. On Thursday, there's no way I'm dead from how Wednesday works for me. On Tuesday, I'm usually going to be too tired, but obviously this week's unique because it's her first day of school. So Mondays and Fridays, those are the days I got to do. And since I stream late, get up early, get late.
Sam does the morning, but I try to get up and just be present for moral support because Emma can struggle sometimes.
I don't get up and be ready there for moral support because I'm awake until 2 or 3 in the morning. Brittany falls asleep at 10 or 11 at night, so it's the trade-off. So
yeah, but I don't really do anything. So
yeah, well, I no longer have to leave to go to work anymore, so I no longer have the I gotta go. Sorry, I don't have that excuse. So I definitely have to. So I was like, hey Britt, just so you know, this is my plan, and she's like, are you going to be a dad that helps? I don't know if I can handle this. I'm like, thanks.
Well, that's good. You know, all those years of sales, customer service, restaurant business has given you the infinite patience to possibly be a dad that helps.
Yeah, right.
You're going to lose fun dad status.
No, I'm still the fun dad. Still the fun dad, though my stomach was hurting today, and she's so used to dive bombing on me and attacking me all the time that I had to keep telling her, Roar, Daddy's belly hurts. Stop. And it was like, it was too much. I'm like, how many times do I have to say it? But she's so used to just jumping on me constantly that it was a hard transition for today, you know? Hi, Snaga. At Joey. What? Cool. So back to you, Nick. What was after that? Nothing else. Oh, no, you were rolling for how many people? Did you math out under Kingdom Notes how many people?
I gotta see how many I had left. I think I had 36 leads and I needed 14.
So what
sound
chat
right?
is reminding you is that there's an edict that you were thinking about doing, but the way that the order works, armies. So actually, creating armies happens before edicts. However, recruiting armies are an edict. So they're saying something about a plan for Red Mongrel to isolate Wolf Maw or something. What was your plan
Yeah.
there? And was there a cost to an edict you were thinking about doing? Go ahead.
Yeah, I could, but I don't have the money for it right now, so it's probably just not.
So you have to focus on your armies first. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I need my elite squad built because we have to get them. Then I have to equip them, and then I can start doing it.
All the while, he's trying to expand his ability of generating money. You know, spending, and not on infrastructure, sadly.
So what do I have to roll here? So it's saying I have. So is it one successful roll is 13d6? Does that look right?
One successful roll is
Or
13
is it 3?
Let me look at it because I actually was not looking at it with you. I was let you do the math.
No, it's 11.
So let's see. Recruiting. You have the correct number of barracks, garrisons, and forts inside there, as well as castles.
Yep.
What level are you trying to recruit?
Elites, yes. Did we do level 2?
I don't remember what you were recruiting. I feel like you would have gone higher.
Yeah, I think we went max. It was level 4. Right, that's the most I can do.
Yeah, I think level 4 is the max you can do because of the size of your kingdom. So that sounds about right. Yeah, so Steve is concurring. So you have to divide it by 9. Most people divide by 12. You get to divide by 9 because of the aforementioned little perk that you got.
Right. Okay, and that's a D20 plus 60.
And you're rolling against a DC 54 with a mod of 70. So it's you have to roll that.
Oh, right.
And this matters because if you roll 1 or a 20, it matters. So just roll a D20 plus 70. Okay, you succeeded. So you have to roll 11d6 and then divide the result by 9. You only needed, what, 3 people or some shit?
13.
13. Oh, you needed 13 more people?
Yeah,
Woof.
I think. I gotta double check, but
Might want to double check. So what's that divided by 9? So 39 divided by 9. You got 4. You got 4
Yeah.
people.
so let me check my army tab real quick. Surprisingly, I took terrible notes.
What? What? You? You? Oh. Boy, oh boy, I never would have guessed.
Yeah, I had 33. So
You had 33 and you needed 17 more?
I'm trying to get to 50. So
Congratulations, you need 13 more. You just got 4.
all right. We'll use one more BP.
Well, you succeeded. Give me that result, Bubby.
That was tasty.
Yay! You got the same amount more. Now you need 9 more. Might as well roll twice. Just gotta press, up enter, or sorry, up enter.
Yeah.
One more time. Ah, so close, baby. All right, go ahead and roll me your 22, or sorry, roll me. Well, yeah, we did this before. We just let you add it all up at once, so 22, do whatever. Or that. So 37. Go ahead. What's the other one? 37 twice. Ouch. That's rough. Well, this is 37. You know, plus 37. Use our parentheses here. Here we go. Yeah, 8 more. Woo wee. So you needed. You're literally off by 1. You have.
Oh man, come on! I got burned by fractions here.
Yep. You're off by 1, and you have 1 BP left. Just don't roll a natty 1, and even if you do, you're probably fine.
Sucks.
Oh, it's so many goddamn 7. All right, so and then go ahead and roll your last 11, and that's 36. 4. Flat. Cool.
All right.
So you have 3 extra. Yay. That's too bad. I wish you had like an extra 5, because you could turn that into like a patrol or whatever it is, right? So that's too bad. All right. You are completely broke. You're definitely not affording any other edicts. Nothing you could do with that. And you're obviously not starting to train them yet. Now, Nick, here's the important thing. Just so you can plan this out moving forward. Leave a note in your spending area or whatever it is. Or keep them on reserve so in case any of them die, he doesn't have to go and do all that shit again just to replace them to fix his injured army. All right, so 50 people. You said they're level what?
4.
So CR 3 creatures, and there's 50 of them. That is CR plus. So they're a ACR of 7. That's the same as having 100 level 1 characters, right? The good news is, even though it's going to be expensive to train them, same as it is for doing a basic army of 100, is that once they're trained, you can expand them much easier, right? So we're just training this 50 to start, this company of 50 to start. Who's going to head them up?
That's my unit.
Oh, you. Oh, that's exciting. Cool. All right. And you already have a military academy, right?
Yes.
So when you finish training, they get extra tactics and whatnot as well. Cool. All right. Awesome. Moving on. We finished this entire phase. You can't do anything else. You're spent. Withdrawing any BP from the treasury. Well, obviously not. So you're clearly not buying that ring for yourself unless you had money kicking around already.
I don't. So.
You going to deposit anything into the treasury? Items or money?
Huh?
I assume not.
I actually have 8 grand. So.
You have 8,000?
Yeah.
You could get 2 BP by spending all 8,000 into your you don't have to do that.
No, but I could buy. The ring.
You could. Yep. +1 AC. Do you currently have anything that offers you a protection bonus to AC?
No.
Okay. That'd be a cool thing. There's also the Naginata, the +1 Naginata. Do you have any?
Yes. I was going to give that to.
You mean Zara?
Zara. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also cure moderate. Cure moderate wounds potion currently sitting there, so that's nice. And a blur potion sitting there too. Would you want to buy those 2 items? That would cost you 4,300 and base cost of Naginata to buy both those items, and you can give them to yourself, Zara, whoever you want, whatever.
Yes. I will.
Okay, so 4,300. And what's the base cost of a Naginata if somebody wants to look that up super fast?
Oh, I didn't want to.
All right, cool. 35 gold and 35 gold, just so you know. Cool. Awesome. So you gave her a magic item?
Yeah.
Awesome. When you buy shit, like, well, granted, she's your
Cohort.
cohort anyways, but when you buy shit like that for like one of your advisors, I feel like there should be like little perks involved, you know, like almost like it incentivizes doing it, like a +1 on like, but these are all things we're going to do in the future for like our next campaign that we do together. We've already discussed the basics of how the next campaign would work. Sel and I were also talking about other things during one of our Patreon campaigns recently of like how we'd even advisor tasks a little bit differently, do them as skill challenges instead, because skill challenges are a really fun thing. It allows like your actual character sheets to matter a little more than just min-maxing for the sake of getting the biggest modifier possible. It's like you could actually, if you have an advisor handling a task, they have skill challenges they have to overcome, and that makes them want to spread their skill points better. So it'll be more fun in the future. We had a really cool idea of how we wanted to do it, but that'll be the next campaign, right? But for now, Nick, you are done with that. Now it's just the event phase. How many events did you have? And Jake, do you remember of any big events for him that I might be forgetting?
I went through a ton of events.
I think you're pretty solid. But any lingering things left over from before?
I have the Frost Fairy ones that I need Jake and Sel for, so we can go in and go try to finally kill the Frost Fae.
That might be a fun little RP thing to have with Jake, like your actual characters talking to each other. Because Sel's character was otherwise very occupied this past month. So having your characters actually talk about it and then sending word to Sel through the sending stone might be a good thing to do. But I'm sorry, continue.
There's that. Then there's the fortress that we need to go and claim. It's filled with loot. I don't know if that's a combined thing or not. I don't remember. Was it Tonscreet found the fortress with what's her name while they were going through the woods?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember how to
Yeah, how it was done.
I also just want to read that real quick. This is hopefully found their way out of Oh, okay. So, and you're currently working on the lake situation, which will have a fun result. When it's done, it'll have a really cool result, but it's not done yet. And you already rolled that check too. I think you sent your priest there to handle that. Yeah, which is really cool. So give me 1 second. We're going to go back to your forest thing in a second. I just want to finish reading real quickly. This is Druidic Path. And that was the one you made Get It Done. So it's completely done over there. So the Get It Path is... And you also got the Exploration Edict, which we talked about. You're finding the wealth thing, which we'll get to that in a second. That was literally what you were just talking about.
Yep.
And this is done too. Yeah, you pretty much have no events aside from anything lingering from before. So again, the lake thing, which is lingering from before, and the Exploration Edict, which was lingering from before, which made it so the entire area inside was seen way more. So I will be able to handle that really quickly for you. And so tell me about this treasure thing again. Remind me what was said so I can adequately handle that, because I know why it came. I remember what happened at the end, but go ahead.
I think all I remember is that it was the Exploration Edict. We found it, and then the report was basically like, "Warlord, we need you to come clear this out to claim the treasure."
That's right. Because it was a specific area that if you guys go to and clear it out, there's a significant amount of valuables there that we couldn't otherwise have acquired on their own. And this is from when Isolde and what's his name, Tonscreet, thank you, couldn't do it themselves, as while they're focused on her expansion or whatever. So the big thing about the Exploration Edict was because they found that money. They found out that apparently on the other side of the forest, like punctured through, there's some effects that are happening over there as well. You can already see the frost in winter, which is weird because it's too early to see winter and whatnot falling over there. You didn't hear anything about the tree or what have you, but obviously you know there's a massive tree over there. You're aware of this fort, which you can see on the map clearly. That fort was from that thing that you did forever ago, so on and so forth. But the Exploration Edict defines for you areas of potential value, what are they called? Resources. So let me actually apply that on the map for you really quickly. And because the Exploration Edict was done, that also means that you can technically continue taking hexes if you want to, without any penalties. It's kind of what that comes up to, just as a reminder.
Gotcha.
Those. Did Zyle ever respond to me? Good question. Nope, Zyle never responded to me. I don't usually leave Discord open. So I will find these spots for you really quickly. I just need more. Second here. It's right here. Just gotta make sure. Let's go 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. And last one is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is here. Okay. Now that I have them marked for you, I'm gonna make it so they have low dynamic lighting, so they can be seen. Bright light distance 0, low light distance will be 1 mile. Hopefully that's not too much. Okay, so we can actually make that a little bit less than a mile. Roll20 ever works for me. Okay. So we'll make that 0.5 mile. And here's the resourcing question. Okay. So now that I know where it is, I'm going to delete you and then copy and paste you onto here so I can't screw it up. I just had to mark it first without showing you where everything was as I was marking them. So and Jake probably can't see these. This last one he might be able to see. So these are, let's back this up so Chat can see them. These are special groves where there's resources are rich. As a reminder for what resources rich means is that if you build a sawmill or what have you there, you generate an extra BP for any of those that are generated there. So that's beneficial because you're already planning on building a lumber yard here. And building sawmills in these locations becomes cheaper, and they generate more wood for you. But then immediately after that, you have another spot where you can grab wood for a little bit cheaper. And then for you over here as well. Oh, this watchtower should be done being built, right? There's a 1 on there. I think that watchtower is supposed to be done. I don't know if we factored that into your kingdom yet. We'll have to make sure that that's... Yeah, we'll have to double check on that one. But that being said, so this right here, again, you have to go over 1, and then you have a spot right here where you can have a more money-rich area. Now, another thing that they're going to be able to tell you, because I want you to be able to see for like a second, but not see everything forever. So let me do this real quick. Because their Exploration Edict that they got for you. This is this guy. Oh, I have it on the wrong clicker, that's why. So let's make this so as bright light for, let's do it for 20 miles for a second. And hope that I don't hate myself for doing that. Okay, yep. And then we'll get rid of, God damn it, double click. Come on. And then we'll do that up here as well. And that'll give you a pretty good idea of what you're looking at. All right, bright light, 20 miles. 0, see. Cool. And then I'll double check and see what you can still see to see if it's all kind of like good enough for you. So let's just do one more. So you can see just a little bit more. We'll do this one, not 20 miles. We'll do this one for, let's try 14 miles for a second. Come on. Double click. 14 miles, save. Cool. And so what you're kind of getting the impression of here, and this is something that you experienced once before, you as a party actually experienced once before, is that so far into the forest, at some point in time, it actually gets even more dense and difficult to travel through for like a short period, and then it opens up into the plains afterwards. Now, they didn't really puncture through to the plains very much, aside from that spot that you see down below, where it punctured through, and you can see a little bit of plains down here, right? But they were able to confirm that pretty much everywhere along the way, at some point in time, the forest gets even more dense and even more difficult and so on and so forth. And then, based off of your own experience and what they saw down below, it looks like pretty much everywhere eventually punctures through to plains on the other side. And the reason why people always seem to think is that it's impassable is not only is the shallow part of the forest very difficult to travel through, but getting to that like thick line that runs, as you can see literally on the map right there, all the way up along the perimeter, that's where it's like extra dangerous, extra difficult, so on and so forth. But their exploration edicts not only found spots where you're going to be able to find more resources, revenue, money, blah, 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 but it also finds an area where you're like, okay, now I know for a fact to kind of like plan my trip accordingly that we're pretty familiar, or air quotes comfortable, with most of the travel inside of the Eldamar forests, but that last push through, depending on where you are, can be rough. Can be really rough. It's that last, like, say 12 to 20 miles or so can be really difficult as you're trying to get through. And that could easily take you anywhere between, part of a day to several days to get through because of how difficult it is, right? It's borderline unnavigatable. Fortunately, I think one of you guys is like an insanely high survival check, but it's not a low DC. We're talking like the forest there is enhanced in such a way to be your protection that you're looking at over a 20 for the survival check DC to be able to navigate your way through there, right? And that's one of the things that they're going to come back, because I think her survival, isn't it disgusting?
Yeah.
Do you have her current character sheet? Can you pop that open real quick? And I'm pretty sure she has like a plus like 17 or some shit, because Joey designed them for like an insanely high roll.
Her survival is a 10, actually. I don't know what Tom's is.
Oh, you can look for his. They will also be able to modify each other. Hers is only a 10. Isn't she?
Yeah.
Is she not the marshal?
No.
Oh, she's the priest. That's right. That's right. Your marshal
yeah,
is the insanely high.
17. Tom's
So she'd be able to fairly consistently give him a +3, which fairly consistently gives him he would have a +20 if she's aiding him to get a +3, right? So with him having a +20, he'd be able to fairly consistently navigate through that area, right? So either way. So just so you but it's probably Zhao Mafeng that has to have the high, because that's probably your marshal, right? I think Zhao is.
It's Tansfree.
Oh, Tansfree's your marshal. Zhao
Yeah.
is your royal enforcer. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
I'm just thinking Hafue with a B. That must be but I get it. All right, cool. So now you know where these valuable resources are. 2 of them are just outside of your reach. Like if you wanted to, if you have the money for it, next kingdom turn, you can literally grab those. You can grab the hex in front of it and both those hexes simultaneously and immediately start building a sawmill if you have enough money to do so. So I just wanted to finish off the conversation of what was done with that event last turn, because aside from the waiting for the water thing to be done, because you already beat that like ridiculously high DC, and now you're paying the cost to do it, and you'll be rewarded next time. Now that that's taken care of, this was kind of buttoning that off. Oh, and it was the location for where that treasure was. We didn't actually find where that location was, did we? So that was, I didn't put that on here. And that was for you and your allies to go out and capture what you're looking for. Describe for me again the location that had the value in it. Was it inside old ruins?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was ruins that would have belonged to. Okay. Cool. I'm actually going to put that. Let me grab a castle piece. Or can I find a ruins piece? Give me 1 second. Put this on here for you. This is kind of important. So you know where the hell it is you're going, right? Oh, that's an ugly token. Don't want that one, thank y'all. There we go. We'll use this one here. Shrink you down. And we'll do this. So these are ruins inside of the forest that you were able to find. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to make it so you guys can see your dynamic lighting. Whoa. Oh, that was too dim. Come on. Come on. Pick away. Pick back. There we go. Guys, I don't know if anybody else experiences what I do with Roll20, but it is frustrating. Oh my god. It's like in the old days when you used to load up a website and you'd have to like walk away from the website and come back every 5 seconds to click something. It's like that. I think you can see it. It's just, unfortunately, we don't have the residual light from before. You see it between the two trees down there?
No.
I'm trying to make it so it's more visible. I'm sorry. Just give me 45 minutes to throw my goddamn computer out the wall. Even though it's not my computer's fault, it doesn't struggle with anything else but Roll20.
All right, I see.
Come
It.
on. You do?
Yeah.
Yay. Come on, you fucker.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much easier to see now, right? Cool. So that's going to be where the ruins are. So you know the, so you know what it is. So, cool. That's where that is. That is in kind of a dangerous spot because it's over near the border where the forests get very, 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 very difficult. They did find it near where they were able to puncture through themselves, though the forest regrows right behind you as you're puncturing through, right? But we're able to puncture through to the plains, and so on. Let's see what else is there. Where you had seen the tree, I believe last time you guys punctured through, the tree you had seen was like more over in like this region over here or something like that, right? Like you'd punctured through a different path. So, but either way, any questions about that at all?
Nope.
Cool. So I think that buttons off that whole conversation. There's nothing else you can do at this point because she's just came back as a druid. Once she's actually designed as a character, then she can actually provide significantly more to you. Do you have the satisfied? Oh yeah, no, we don't care about that. Sorry, cool. So her being level, that means she has access to level 2 spells, Nick, druid spells. That's really fucking useful because like you have things like she can provide for you good berries. How long do those last for? Pathfinder. good berries. They last for a day per level, so not like a crazy amount of time. But it definitely means that she could provide for you guys some like extra rations to bring with you, so it's a little bit easier of a journey as you're going into the forest. All right, let's move on. Did you ever roll for your taxes?
I do not.
Okay, why don't we get those out of the way? Because by the way, the reason why I kind of like jumped past your taxes and went to this was because I was like, I'm pretty sure you have no events. One of the things I did to you in Cell was I tortured the shit out of you with every event, including any of the ones that were supposed to be done in September. I got them out of the way pre-September so that you guys would have like a nice smooth sailing for a little bit. And I'm pretty sure you're solid until October. The only one I think is missing an event might be Jake. I think he might have a September event, but I think all of you guys are clear until October. So I think you guys are good for a few weeks. So don't miss a session. Now's like the chance. Run.
Oh,
Oh, Nikki. Ouchie, what did you roll? I motherfucking rolled 20. I can't even see the results. Try not to freak out. Okay, refreshing that screen. There we go. Okay, now I can see it. Oh God. All right, guys, I can see it now. Nick, did that include the plus 12 you got from everything?
that did.
Oh, was it 12 or was it 6? Sorry.
12. Bonus BP was 6.
Oh, okay, so it was bonus. So from your locations, it was 6, and then from your it was 6 more from viewers. Gotcha. That includes that. Well, 37 is nothing to scoff at, but ouch, baby, ouch. Right. 1, 2, 3. Let me go over to Kingdom over here. 1. You know what you did to yourself? How many D6s does a watchtower offer you when you're rolling for your stuff?
That's a good question.
Oh, nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that didn't affect anything. Okay, cool. All right. Just gives you a 1 stability. It makes you have more visibility in the area, which I'll apply in a second. All right. Cool. All right, so I'm just double checking your other details here. So night vision. Let's expand this to, I think it's supposed to go to 12 after this. Yeah. You can see pretty good out. So one of the cool things that you can see now barely with the corner from your 2 hexes, so your oversight, is you can more or less confirm that this hex does not belong to your enemy, which is good news. And you can see that you don't know if they have this hex or not. You can't see whether or not this hex is theirs, but you know that these 2 hexes are not. So once again, you have a watchtower not too far away from something that's here. So if you were building out trying to get your hands on money, you would definitely want to go here and then grab this one and this one, because that's a quick, easy. You could realistically do it in 1 turn if you have the BP for it. And you can grab like lots of sawmills, whatever, that way. And then if you needed to, you could actually go straight across to this one nice and easy. Which is good news. All right, cool. Anything else for you, sir? Chad, is there anything I'm missing that he was supposed to be to do? And what's up, sir? Yes, that was absolutely hinted about what was on the other side, Joey. What's up, Nick?
There's the baby roll.
Oh yeah. It's cumulative. What percentage are you at now?
I think we're gonna be at 25 or 20.
25%, and it's cumulative 5% each time.
Okay.
So who's rolling the roll?
Snaga. Go, Joey.
Was it high or low? It doesn't matter anyways. I'm just curious.
Either way, it wouldn't have hit, but I didn't say.
So now it's a 30% chance. If you want to mark that down somewhere on there, your baby roll is now at 30% chance. No. They don't know. They just know that winter is hitting early over there, which is what's strange. Why is winter hitting so early? What are they falling back and doing? Those are things that unfortunately... Wait, it was a 35% chance before? Well, nobody corrected us before we rolled. I think we have to re-roll, Nick.
All right, Joey, re-roll. We'll go low.
So if it's
Lowest
a
hurdle.
1 to 35, get a baby. If it's a 36 or above, miss the baby. Okay. Would have been important to define all this crap before. Okay, no baby. Now let's knock it out at a 40% chance. If we can mark that somewhere as a 40% chance, and you can decide which number 40% it is in the future. I don't really give a crap right now. Awesome. Nick, I think because you have no more, unless there's an ongoing thing that I'm not familiar with, you couldn't do any of your whatchamacallit ones. You couldn't do any of your ongoing ones. You critically successful on pushing back your enemies, being the ice people, so they will no longer bug your kingdom this turn. You busted your ass for that, but that cost you a lot of BP because you invested so much into. I think you paid to activate your armies, whatever it was. That was a crippling thing, but you critically succeeded, and so you don't have to deal with them all winter, which is great. That's great news, unless something else triggers it, right? And hopefully not, because you can't really afford to keep going with this. You have so many things that you have to get work on, and not enough BP to accomplish it. So I know you want to have that chat with Jake's character and Cell's characters to get them to go out there and acquire those funds that you found. Moving on. I think it's just your random kingdom event.
That is correct.
You have it set at a 75% chance. What 25% does not trigger it?
We'll say 50 and up.
So 50 to 75, 51 to 75. Yeah. You're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keegan.
Kinky Keegan. Throw yourself on that spike wall for this lad. Roll me anything but a 51 to a 75. Okay, you failed.
No, I passed.
That means no kingdom
fantastic.
event.
That's fantastic. I can poop. That's good. I've been holding it for like 10 minutes. It's not comfortable.
Yum. I want to talk about it.
I'm flexing right now.
All right, cool. Is there anything else to even do with your...
No. I don't think
Right?
so.
I think that's it, right? Jake, anything else? Cool.
Unless he was doing anything to Zen Queen this turn. Other than that, no.
He couldn't afford. He can't afford to do so. He literally can't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but last turn he did, and you finished up the train. So that train, the Zen Queen train, was like 4 or 5 of you guys' kingdom turns in a row. That's what culminated in what was just discussed when she came back, and everything's kind of like this blood in the water. So unless he was going to try to take his army and send it that way, that's a different situation, you know. But what we're gonna get at, Nick, if you just want to chat with do you want to chat with Densho's character real quick, or do you want to save that for the beginning of next session for you guys traveling into the forest?
Yeah, let's do it when we have all 3 of us. So we can get that RP.
Because if they agree to go with you, what we can do is we can realistically have that transpire during the period of time that your character's during his kingdom rolls, because it's like a 10-day period or whatever. During his kingdom rolls, that's why you guys are gone in the woods doing what you need to do, right? Which is convenient. Awesome. All right, so he doesn't plan to send anything right now. He literally, even if it's something he wants to do, Joey, he literally lacks the ability to do so. He was down to 0 BP and couldn't even train his army yet. I just want to plot out your money and then we can blast out here a little early today. How much BP do you have promised to buildings next turn?
None.
Right? Because you're not in the middle of building anything.
So we have the shrine, and that's it.
So 4 for the shrine, and in theory, you want to start doing the whatchamacallit, which is what, 6? So in theory, you want to spend 10 on that. And what's the 8? How much does it cost for you to build your army? Is it
No,
ACR of
it's
7,
training,
right?
yeah. That's training.
2, so it's gonna be 50. ACR 7 BP per month. It's gonna cost you 14 BP to build them. So over here, when it says expense, you currently have armies 10. Army is actually gonna be 14. So you are already, and then you also have consumption of 4. So that means that you have promised out 28. So you're assuming you're starting your labor, your lumber yard, assuming you're finishing the shrine, assuming you're paying to train the army, and you have your 4-point consumption, and you don't do anything else. You have 28 out of your 37 treasury already accounted for. You only have 9 BP left. If you pass, which you will, your stability check and don't get unrest between now and then, which is a question mark, you could in theory earn 1 more BP from that. So I think you'll have only 10 BP of breathing room. Maybe you can claim a hex and start building, start claiming hexes to
build the sawmills.
Yeah, sawmills on or whatever it is. Yeah. Because you don't have to prepare hexes to build sawmills on them. You only have to prepare them to put settlements there. So, yeah, at the very least, claiming this. Sorry, check, can't see. At the very least, claiming this 1 hex right here might be a good idea to get you closer to those 2 special resources you want, and to get ready for when, as soon as this lumberyard's done, which will be the next month, you immediately build a sawmill here, which is at half cost or discounted cost or whatever it is. All right, cool. Unless you have anything else, sir, I think we're going to get out of here nice and early.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for sticking around throughout Jake's entire turn so we can do yours, because I knew yours would be quick and easy. With most of those events out of the way, this month, as long as we're only dealing with things that kind of are lingering from before, we could bang through a couple of kingdom rolls relatively quickly. So with one of the sessions, of course, being dedicated with you guys going on that quick little adventure there. Awesome. All right, everybody, have a great night. I'll see you Wednesday morning for Inclement. Thank you guys so much for coming by and hanging out. Awesome. I'm going to go get some sleep. Rory's first day. Bye, Jake. Bye, Nick.
All right.
Bye.